down to like my last ounce.
You gotta take care of
that. Yeah.
Tapped all the natural resources.
Yo, I've been rapping. I smoked like shit I had from last year.
I already know. Yeah, I feel like I fucked up. I should have put on my fronts too. Hey,
we live.
Salutations. Welcome, everybody.
Nice.
We are here with another episode of the Prspctvs podcast. We are your hosts. My name is Littty Bro Flacko. This is Holden Stefan Roy. Say hi, Holden.
Hi, Holden.
That's what I'm talking about, right on cue and shit. And today we have a guest who is a living fucking legend. We just finished going through some of the many things that he's done. At one point, my man was an interviewer. He's been a fucking fashion mogul. He's been a fucking hip-hop executive. By the way, he's also been a rapper. Like, a lot of people aren't aware that my bro used to rap. When Pax heard your verse on Sancocho, he was like, wait, who is that? He was like, that's Paulie? I'm like, yeah, that's Paulie. He's like, I didn't know he raps. I was like, yeah, he raps for real. So rapper, fashion mogul, interviewer, entrepreneur, business owner, real estate owner, hunter, gatherer, the notorious Paulie Hustle.
No, thank you. I highly appreciate it.
AKA Littty Bro Paulie. For those who don't know. You know what I'm saying? For those who don't know. So, Paulie, what we do on the show, right, for the opener is like we give everybody our origin story. You know what I mean? But like you kind of know the origin story a little bit, but we're still going to give you the origin story, right? So we were doing volume 1. You remember this because you were a part of us doing volume 1. People don't know that you were a part of it, even though you weren't vocally on it.
I'm always in the background.
Always in the background. It's something that we're going to learn in this. It's something that people are going to learn about you in this interview, right? Yeah. Always in the background, right? Moving pieces, making things happen, approving things. And so you know that I went and I made Jess sit down and not do any of the producing or mixing on the project. And I sent it to homie in Montreal, right? And homie in Montreal might as well be Merker Miyagi. He might as well be from New York City, I say all the time, right? Yeah. Because he's smart with his engineering. He's got a studio up there in Montreal, but he doesn't ever promote anybody that he works with, right? Why? Because he doesn't approve of everybody he works with. He's recording some people for just money. You know what I mean? I'm not going to promote that shit and taint my fucking, what people perceive as my good taste. You know what I mean? But he did promote us. You know what I mean? And he promoted us quite illustriously, as Holden likes to say sometimes. I mean, he doesn't say the word illustriously, but I like to embellish words, right? And so Holden, you know, he noticed that, like, he posted it with like, yo, I've never been in New York and I've never partied in New York, but I would love to fucking do cocaine in New York City with the Littty Bros if I'm ever there, right? and Holden saw that and was like, this is a flying fucking recommendation. I gotta check these guys out. My homie never ever, like, he mostly keeps to the funny posts and the controversial, and you know, he's not posting everybody's music and shit, you know?
He posts nobody's music.
Nobody's music. So he posted our music. Holden goes and checks it out. Holden's already got a channel going where he reviews music. So Holden reviews the album, and then when he reviews the album and does such a thorough review on it, I was like, yo, my guy, we should do an interview together. He was like, I mean, I was going to ask you that, but tú eres un afrentado, so you ask first and shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so, like,
I said it just like that, too.
Just like that, right? He doesn't speak Spanish at all, not even a lick, but he said it just like that. So we did the interview, and bro, when we did that interview, I felt like I went to therapy. You know what I mean? It was unorthodox. It was unlike most of the interviews, right? Like, you know how long we've been in this, how long I've been in this. You know how many well, you don't know how many interviews I've done, right? But you're well aware of the fact that I've done many interviews before. You know what I mean? And like, never had I felt like I actually talked about things outside of what we do. It's always centered around like you're a battle rapper or you're a rapper. You know what I mean? Like, what do you know what I mean? Like what you're doing right now, your project, et cetera, et cetera. But him and me, we talked about my life. And I was like, this is like fucking therapy. So I immediately did what all New Yorkers do, right? I put on the homies. And then we started interviewing people. And now we're fucking like a year and change into this shit, bro. What episode are we on now, Ho-Ho?
This one's 58.
58, yo.
58.
Episode 58. 58.
Congratulations. That's something that's not easy to do.
It is not easy to do. I know that you know.
A decade, and it's not easy to even just stay together as a unit.
Yeah.
So congratulations to both of you guys, not only for the hard work, but for the collaboration and be able to keep it going and keep the great minds working.
Word.
Thank you.
And that's genuine, yo, because I don't like nothing.
Nah, I already know. You don't like nothing. So that's why I'm like, yo, I was gonna inform Holden later on off the cast, but you need to appreciate that. Well, give our compliments that easily, goddamn it.
No, I know what it is. It's mad hard. It's not easy.
Nah, it's wild hard. But yeah, so here we are, 58 episodes later, and you know, it's a great thing. So Holden has his, you know, set of questions he likes to ask, but me, you know me, bro, I'm the cutoff king. So like I cut him off before he even gets started, and I like to ask all of our guests, right? Tell the people who you are, what you're known as, where you're from, and where your parents are from.
Nice. All right. So basically, I'm Paulie Hustle. I do a lot. I'm basically a Renaissance man when it comes to anything that has to do with hobbies and culture, I guess, and business. And I'm from everywhere. I was born in Queens. Basically did most of my schooling in the Bronx, and I did the rest of my schooling in Chicago. And my mom was, you know, born and died in the Bronx. You feel me? And my dad, God knows. You know?
Fair.
Papa was a Rolling Stone.
I don't know much about my biological.
Word. So Holden?
All right. So I got my typical opening question thing to get the ball rolling. It's a bit of a story. When it lands, you can just start going with it, and then we'll get the conversation going proper. It all starts off with my girlfriend, and she's washing the dishes one time, and she got her phone out playing that Black Eyed Peas song, I Got a Feeling. Ooh. She's vibing, she's dancing, she's doing her thing. I'm looking at her, and I have this thought, and I'm like, when the fuck did this song become chores music, right? Like, this song used to be like middle of the night, turn up anthem, run it back to like 2010. Everybody's drunk, having a wonderful time. Now it's 2022, and we be putting this song on when it's time to do some boring shit like working out or some crap at a computer, whatever. It's just to bring us back to the happy times of when we was celebrating. Song didn't change at all, but our lives evolved so much that the relationship that we have with the song has changed. And it got me thinking about how music is like kind of like that. It's this journey that we go on as our lives evolve. Like if you look at the 20-year-olds running around partying and shit, they don't know that all that drill and whatnot gonna be what they're washing dishes to in like 10, 15 years when they're a lot older and just dealing with grown-up shit. They don't know that even when I heard Pop Smoke, I started washing dishes to it right away. Like it skipped a line and it just went into the dishes music. And I say that because like when you do watch a lot of these interviews and you see how a lot of people start stuff, everybody be like 11 years old or something when their story starts, when they first discover hip hop or their first favorite rappers this, or they first started writing rhymes at this age. And none of it's usually that early in the story. And I say that because music be like mad influential since you were born and whatnot. Like when you came out the hospital in Queens, there's a good chance there was a song playing in the room that a little baby Paulie Hustle was absorbing and getting some energies from. And I know that when I was like mad young, like 5 in like Montreal in a little apartment, my dad had these gray boxes all over. amp and the preamp and the tape decks and the radios with the wires going out to the little ghetto surround sound system we had. And you'd be busting his Led Zeppelin tapes and things of that variety during the daytime. But at nighttime, it would be that Montreal club music that was being played live from the clubs. My mom's, though, was more like discos and musicals and Disney musics and all of this kind of stuff. And all of this was around me and it was always playing and I had no control over it. And I was just forced to kind of listen to it. And all of it influenced me super much to this very day. So I was hoping, Mr. Poly Hustle, you could bring us back to the youngest Poly Hustle you can remember being and let us know a little bit what it sounded like to be you before you had any control over the music. And just keep in mind that not everybody came from New York, so we don't fully know what that experience is like.
Yeah, well, I always came up like in a musical family. I think a lot of people have, but it was basically like rock and salsa. Wasn't like, I come from the era where rap was taboo. You couldn't really, you couldn't like, because rap was being done and hip hop we were living. That was our everyday fucking lifestyle. And so it was taboo. But when it became like, so for me, I feel like it's always been there. It's like, it like we're the creators of it. Like you said, like, since we're from New York, but for me, it didn't start in New York. And I'm not going to go back to when I'm way young. I'm going to go back to when it like, I realized it meant something and it was going to be my life. And I was 16 years old. I was in Chicago and I had a older OG, may him rest in peace, Bam Bam. And he literally came to my house one day with some ghetto ass recording equipment. And he was like, yo, you're going to record me. You're going to start a studio and you're going to be the man. I was like, nah. He literally pulled out a gun and was like, yo, you're going to fucking record me. You're going to start a studio and you're going to be the man. And from that day forward, I was just like, I was in it. Put a couple $100 up. We started a studio. We started recording music. Everything else was like everyday life. It was everyday life. It was every day to hear rap music or hear whatever was popping, what was going on the radio. But until like I was 16, that's when it was like, this shit is real. I'm a part of this now. Like I'm making it my life. I made it a business. Ever since then, I've been Paulie Hustle. I've been that dude.
And what was it?
Opened my first studio at 18.
And that was in Chicago.
Yeah, no, I opened up. My first studio was a home studio in Chicago. Mm-hmm. Then I left to Mississippi. I lived there for some months. I made some bread and I came to Jersey. And when I came to Jersey, I opened up my first studio in Jersey and I hit Jersey hard. Like Jersey loved me. That was like the place I went and they like really loved me.
Is that when you made that music video that used to be on YouTube? I don't know. Is it still on YouTube? On the bicycle and shit?
That was a couple years later. Yeah, that must have been like maybe 6 years later.
Copy.
I got to Jersey when I was 18. I met V. I had my kids and that's it. I wasn't leaving Jersey because I got my children. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's crazy. I actually didn't know that part of your story, that in between.
Yeah.
I didn't know that you stayed in Mississippi for a little while.
Yeah. So I grew up in basically, Brooklyn, Bronx. I went to junior high school in the Bronx. I went to, grade school in Brooklyn. And
so what are you up to back at that point? Do you have any like passions or hobbies or anything that was like preoccupying you when you were young before hip hop took over?
Selling crack, nigga.
Money.
I was trying to get money. I was like 11, 12 years old and fucking.
So the hustle was always in.
It was the Bronx, like the mid 90s of the Bronx. That's what I was doing. I left the Bronx because of getting into trouble. It was getting into trouble, and my family, what's left of it was like, yo, he got mad potential. Like somebody take him out of here, and that's how I wound up in a different direction. So, but even then, like it was b-boying on the corner. The DJ would come out and bring all the equipment downstairs and play music, and it was it was life. It was like, it was no matter what, it was like we were exposed to it. I guess it's like in our blood. But
Right.
it didn't become a thing where I started really learning about hip hop music. If people want to call it the culture, I don't know what people call it, you know, but whatever you want to call
They
it.
definitely like to use that term.
That's when I sank in, you know, deep into everything. Is when I decided to make it a business. And then I came back to Jersey, and like I said, Jersey showed love. It was just like, yo, I was there. It was cool, and I made it.
It was hustling and doing your thing. Then you got brought out to Chicago, or
Yeah, Chicago.
and then in Chicago, somebody literally pulls a gun on you, and this is what makes you get into music, which is up there with the wildest of stories I've heard of somebody getting put into music, to be honest.
Yo, it's so great because like I love my life. You know what I mean? Like, people think it's bad nowadays to love your life and to say that publicly, but it's not. It's like, I love my life, and it's like, if it wasn't for him, I would have nothing that I have right now. Like, not a damn thing. You know, like, not a damn thing.
Still wild.
That day forward, it made me who I'm. It made me. If that day would have never happened, I would have never met Dutch, because I would have never took the shit serious. It was a serious moment. It was like, he wasn't playing, you know, and he was one of those OGs that if you didn't do something right, he probably smacked you. You know.
Hey.
I didn't want to. I grew up with OGs like that. You know what I mean? Where it's like, yo, it's not like there's no like ask. It's not, I'm asking you. I'm telling you to do something, and if you don't do it, nobody put a gun to me, but I was definitely getting lumped up. You know what I mean? By like grown ass men and shit. You know what I mean?
Well,
but that's how your OGs
Chicago's
work,
a lot different from New York. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're a little bit more wild out there. You know what I mean? It's more like Wild West and shit. You know, Chicago was culture shock in general, you know? So I had to accept, like, it was hard being from New York and going to Chicago and just being like, yo, New York is like 100 times more better and convenient. And
of course,
you know,
and you're getting sent at what age? How old were you when you got sent to Chicago?
15.
Listen, I got sent to Hawaii at 15. And that was one of those like things where like at 15, you're getting to that age where you're like, yo, this is me. And you running around, you were probably a hot boy. I know I was a hot boy, you know what I mean? Like shit was
I was loud. You know what I'm saying? I was always loud.
Same.
I've been the same thing with you. It's like when we're talking about Bam and how like we're saying, you know, pumping that energy. It's like you're the type of person that does the same thing that Bam would do, except without a gun. But you still tell somebody like, yo, you're fucking hot, and this is what you could be, nigga, and like stop and get up and go, you know? And it was like that, and he wasn't playing. And I'm glad because I'm here, and I love him for that. You know, he knows I love him and shit, but I love him for that. I do a little dance. He used to do a little dance. He used to go like this, like wave his hands and shit. So I get excited.
That's hilarious. That's funny. That's funny as fuck to know that. That's where that comes from.
Your passion is fucking infectious. I don't know who said you can't love your life, but people should love your life with that level of passion. That sounds mad healthier than being miserable all the time. Yeah. But also to appreciate moments like that is also big because, man, you're right. I'm pretty sure if somebody had pulled a gun on me, my life would be mad different than it is today. And I don't know, better or worse, but it would be fucking different because that sounds like one of them big experiences. But you got pushed into making a studio. So it's not like just this terrible story. It's like the guy said, fuck you, this is how dead ass I am. You're going to do this. And then you did it. And
yo, about like 2 months later, I was making like $700 a month, right? But this is in like 2000. 99, this is like 2000. And I'm fucking 16.
That's good money.
Like that. It's a lot of money for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't have to hustle on
it. And FYI to add on to that, that's a lot of money for a young man in Chicago in that era. You're talking about probably like 96, 97, 98, around there somewhere, and that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
In New York, you're doing good making that.
I was able
right?
to pay my own rent.
Back then, and in Chicago, you were fucking balling. You know what I mean? Yeah, you were balling. You were super balling.
I worked. So I was like, I was installing ponds on the side and doing like koi ponds for people and shit. You know what I mean? So
look at that.
That's mad imaginative.
Yeah, bro.
You know what? That makes sense. Knowing you, hold on, Holden. Knowing you, right? And the show that we played in the background, which is your original. Before we get on the interview with you, we go on Holden's Twitch stream. We warm up the crowd, right? And we play. Usually we have musical guests, right? And we play their music and whatnot, right? Because they have like an album from previous or something like that. When we have battle rappers, we watch their battles and shit like that. With you, we watched a video of you doing
a sneaker review.
Doing a sneaker review for the Lucy Lou's from Kill Bill, which, by the way, when you broke down the science on that,
I was just sitting there like I didn't know people thought like that about shoes.
Holden doesn't fully understand, right? Because Holden's not like crazy into fashion like that, right? So he doesn't. He's basically a novice right now. Like he'll
super
tell you himself,
novice,
right? At fashion, he's just now getting into it, right? He doesn't know about New York culture like that. He's a Montreal person, right? So like he's been learning about New York through us and through this interview series, right? So like you sitting there, how old was that video? Like 9 years old?
2013.
I mean, 2013. But all culture is New York culture, bro.
All culture is New York culture. Big facts. No. I'm not. Listen, I'm gonna fight you on that. You think I'm gonna fight you on that? Come on. You know what time it is. Of course it's our culture. Because hip hop, what people call hip hop culture is global, and that's really just New York culture. When people say hip hop culture.
A lot of people out here have a big heart on for New York. You see it everywhere.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But so the point being, right, is Holden is not really well aware, right? But like I can tell you that for 2013, that video is so good for a sneaker review. And when you broke down the science on it too, like I didn't even see none of that, right? Like, and it's not like I'm blind, right? I know Kill Bill. I know fucking Asics. I know fashion, right? But I mean, I am also walking into the video blind and I didn't have the sneakers to sit with it. But when you broke down the science on it being that color, because that was the color in the background, and then the white because of the snow, and then the pink because of her brains, I was like, my nigga, yes. All of that, yes. I remember all of that perfectly. You're right. You're absolutely right. The dark blue was the starry night.
Yeah, the starry night and her robe.
And her robe. And then the fucking white was the snow that they fucking battled on. And then the pink, that was how her top, when she cleaned that top clean off, and that shit came off, it was that level of pink. That it was just like, yo, my God. Paulie was, you know what I mean? Doing something that, by the way, in 2013, you could tell us better than anybody else. At what point are we in hype beast culture? Does it even exist yet?
It was there.
Like, it was just starting.
We were, when I came out, probably like when they called somebody a hype beast, I was probably, one of the main people they were calling a hype beast. So from that stereotype, that I will admit to it, because I was up on everything. You know what I mean? And it was being created then. Like Hypebeast was created, the furthest it goes back, even hypebeast.com, like 2011, 2010.
2010. And I could tell you
by 2013, I was like already like, woo.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say, was I could testify to the fact that by 2013, that's late. Like those are like, I'm pretty sure, actually, I know for a fact, because when I was scrolling YouTube looking up your name, right, I saw a video that was 13 years ago labeled by YouTube, and you were talking about trends then, right? So 13 years ago, that means that we're talking about 2009, 2009.
Yeah.
2008, 9. So
Yeah.
2008, 9, Paulie's already on YouTube, already covering fashion before the hype beast even exists. And that is when he's doing that in YouTube 13 years ago. He already had years before that 13 years ago, right?
And
which is
crazy,
really just New York shit, by the way,
and
right?
what's
Again,
crazy,
New York culture, right?
What's crazy is like I'm like one of the first ones to fuck up the game because I had one of, you know, when like now they do like rep codes and shit, 20% off and all that, right? Well, back in my era, when we first started that, every time somebody used their code, they gave you $20. So I would do the YouTube videos and I would do the shit. And like you said, people would enjoy it. And when I did the Goodwood video and that shit took off, people use that code like crazy, bro. I made so much money.
You know what that's called?
I bought my first house.
That's called being an influencer. Literally, people on Instagram.
You were quite literally an influencer
quite
at
literally,
that point because you're influencing
Yeah,
motherfuckers to buy
It
shoes.
was before the viralness that's now.
Before, yeah.
Nah, but like the job is still the same. You be influencing sales.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I still did good, and I'm happy, and I knew what I did with all my checks. You know what I mean? I mean,
big facts. We're not gonna get to that. We're not going to get to that because your fucking checks is your personal business. And we don't ever talk about people's checks on the show, right?
Nah.
But we do like to make sure that we give credit where credit's due. And I'm really big on that. Like when we had Mickey Facts on here, I had to make sure Mickey, especially in the fashion, because for me, right, that's one thing that in particular, like where like if this was another rapper co-hosting this show with Holden, it might be led in a different direction about like lyricism or something else. But like to me, you know what time it is. Fashion, the sofrito has always been like king to me. Sofrito and your hustle, you know what I mean? And so like the same way I like to make sure to give Mickey Facts his credit for originating skinny jeans before Kid Cudi, before Kanye West, before anybody was there, Mickey Facts was there, right? Before influencers were there, before hype beasts were there, before people were doing podcasts essentially, because that was essentially what your show was. It was a podcast, except it was like in a show format. It was like a TV show format. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like it was live. You had like games that happened on the show.
It was like fucking Saturday Night Live, bro.
Right.
You know?
Right. And so you did all of that before there was ever a big tundra of people getting there, and you made money off of it. And like I said to Holden on the stream before you got on, right? The video that we're talking about with the Lucy Lou Asics gel, right, is 2,000 views, I think, right? And I said to Holden, it's about the quality and not the quantity. Because if I'm not mistaken, that video was before you started working with Ronnie Feig?
That was probably during. I was still working with him. I was working with Ronnie probably all the way up to 2016 is when it really stopped. You know what I mean?
Word.
2016 is when I kind of just said, like, you know, I started enjoying retirement and shit.
Word.
2016, I went viral for something totally else.
Yeah, totally else. Another thing, right? That like
a whole other thing.
All right, let's run it back though to like, so you're in Chicago back in the day. I was curious, what does the music sound like that you're recording?
So it sounds like Twista, Do or Die.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like that style. Motherfuckers was rapping like Twista. You're not even gonna believe, right? So like one of the hottest, you're not even gonna believe this, all right? During the time in Chicago, one of the hottest albums that was out was Wyclef's The Second Carnival. Like they just
The Second Carnival?
911 and Mary J. Like that song was a hit everywhere. It was like that, Usher, you know, and fucking a little bit of Ludacris, you know, everywhere. But Twista and Do or Die were like Chicago staples. You heard them on the radio every day. That's what it was. That's who everybody wanted to sound like. That's what everybody wanted to rap like. So you either rap quick or you either rap slow, you know? And everybody loved Bone Thugs and Harmony because they were right there from Cleveland. So it was a whole different other culture, but everything was the same. Like, to me, no matter where you go, it's the same.
Right.
You know, there's a hood everywhere.
There's a hood everywhere you go.
You know,
that's once you start traveling the world, right? I mean, even if you just travel America, right? You get to realize that, like, it don't matter where you go. There's always going to be a good hood, and there's always going to be a bad hood.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And there's always going to be, and chances are in the bad hood, right? Thanks to America and the system, right? It's going to be a Malcolm X way because it's going to be a predominantly black neighborhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
South America. But so, word.
But yeah, Chicago it put me on. And then, you know, from there, when I left to Mississippi, that's when it was over.
So you were doing music in Mississippi as well?
Yeah, so I had a best friend in Chicago who wound up moving to Mississippi and was like, yo, I want to fucking do it up. I'm going to open up a studio, all this shit, you know, rapper talk, all this like good shit. And one day he called me up and he was like, yo, my cousins and everybody tell me you're cooking out there. Bam put you on and everything because like everybody's family out there. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, yo, come out here. I got a job for you. And I was like, he was like, nah, you like, come out here. I'll put you on. So I went out there and he literally put me on. He had me like doing like studio butt boy work. You know what I mean? Like this wire here, that wire here, sweep this floor, do this, you know. Fucking put your 2 cents on this. Let me teach you how to record. Let me teach you how to do this and do that, you know, and da-da-da-da. I was slow and I was getting stipended. So I'm getting stipend every day that I'm there, and I'm 16 years old. So, you know, it was great. It was great. And I came home. I was there for a couple months. I spent my 17th birthday over there. I came back to Chicago. And when I went back to Chicago, you know, I spent all my money in like one night.
Get a bag and I'll fuck it up.
Yeah, so I fucked it all up. So then I went over to Jersey. I went over to Jersey and shit because I have family living in Jersey. And I was like, yo, let me get out of Chicago. Let me go to Jersey. I went to Jersey and I wind up like going back to Mississippi, getting, you know, the same stipend. This time I saved every dollar. And then I came back to Jersey and opened up my first studio with Alpha. You know Alpha, Dutch. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was your co-host on the Real Deal show that we watched.
Probably one of them for a while.
Yeah, one of them for a while.
Yeah, not Adrian. You're thinking Adrian. I'm talking about
the episode that we watched on the show before you came on was with Caustic. So though I don't think Pumbaa was on that episode, I do believe he was your co-host at that time.
I believe Kumba was the co-host at the time. I believe Kumba was, and Kumba probably was there during those times. Those are the grind time days. Those were beautiful days.
I know that we saw. It was
Jesse James,
Caustic. Jesse was in the background. And I was explaining to Holden that me and Jesse have been. You and Jesse were friends longer than me and you, but we've been brothers for a very long time. The three of us.
I mean, given that like me and Jesse were so tight, we had no choice but to be, you know, what we are.
Facts.
You know, so. I mean, it is what it is, but those were golden days too. Those were beautiful times.
Yeah, they are.
Very memorable.
Created history. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically. I mean, it's still being created by the day too. It's insane.
Facts.
You know, to see the mixture of old and new.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing like the old here and the new here, and it's like they're keeping up with each other, but it's a weird clash.
I mean, only in hip hop, right? Because I was just having this conversation with Julio, who's in the Zoom right now, because we were having a conversation about the Rolling Stones list that just came out and how crazy it is. And I was just highlighting the fact that, like, you know, only in hip hop is there all this like were like that list was trying to service many subgenres, genres, regions, and at this point, hip hop also has transcended so many generations that you're like it's like constantly a conflation of like generations, regions, and subgenres of what was created here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a mixture of it's like somewhere over the rainbow. You know, it's everything and everything and anything.
It's pretty dope. It's in a great place. I didn't see that list though, but yo, I like what you described as the old and new.
I had a couple albums on that list, so I'm not like I still was like, nah, I don't think so. But then I saw the things that were on there that I was like, okay, these are on my list, so it's okay, you know. Mm-hmm. The Kanye was on my list, hands down.
They put Yeezus at number 17, and I was like, you see, time proved me right.
They put my Dark Twisted, you know, that joint, my Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, that made the top 10.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, I agree with that. I agree with 36 Chambers, like, and that's probably about it. I'm not sure. Lauryn Hill's album was really dope.
Yeah.
You know, like
I think some people feel like
like the Miseducation wasn't fucking fire, and it wasn't everywhere but at the same time, that shit came out with Jay-Z's Volume 2, the Hard Knock Volume 2, which I should have been. I don't know. I like that better than the Blueprint. It's like,
fair enough.
Volume 2 in the Bronx, Hard Knock, that shit was like everywhere, kid.
It was.
There was no escaping it. There was no escaping that in Rough Riders, like during that time.
No.
There was like,
no.
It's like what Drizzy is.
Yeah.
So like,
DMX was once Drizzy. Don't sleep.
Nah, I remember DMX was like, he was like here Drizzy. Like even like when I was 12 and shit, like all of us knew X. That wasn't as common back then because there was no YouTubes and shit. So for a rapper to like break through to like the middle of Montreal and shit, you know, DMX was huge.
I was just telling a story about this the other day. So check it, right? I was like, because I love music just in general. So I was like, yeah, I fell in love with a song that I heard at a party, had to go home, had to sing it, listen for the radio and was like, fuck. Then I had to go take a train all the way to like Sam Goody or some shit, you know, or hit the Wiz at the time. Cop the motherfucking, either the record, the tape deck, maybe the CD.
Maybe.
Go home, right? Have to fast forward the shit just to get to the song I like, to rewind it for 5 seconds to just hear it again.
Fact.
And that's what I had to go through to, you know, acquire music.
These are facts.
I came in on the CD part of that shit.
That's what I had to do to acquire music.
That's what I never really considered dealing with tapes though. I never really did. Like when I started buying music, because I was definitely in the end of buying it, it was all CDs, and like the tapes would be like there.
My first hip hop tape was a gift, and it was Fuji's score. And it was given to me. It was like, yo, here, fresh in the plastic. Because before that, I wasn't buying music. I was trying to buy sneakers and clothes and shit. I wasn't trying to buy music then. But with that tape, that's when I started buying everything. That was 1996.
So, yeah,
started collecting.
Yeah, that was 96. When that year came out, you had the score. It Was Written by Nas, you know what I'm saying? Dropped that year. Mad shit dropped. Pac, like, was just about to die.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Little did we know.
Yeah. It was crazy times. Jay-Z fucked up and put out Sunshine and shit like that, you know? But
yeah, so you remember when everybody reacted poorly to the video for Sunshine.
The music video, Hype Williams did that video.
And everybody, that's why it got a bad review, that album, But and then like they repackaged like 90% of that album in Streets is Watching as a movie, music video movie, and that shit was hard and the streets loved that shit, yo.
Yeah. And you know who took that video and flipped it? Fucking Diddy and Mace with motherfucking little shiny suits and the House of Mirrors they were chilling in with like what was it? More Money, More Problems and shit.
More Money, More Problems.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was what like Sunshine was trying to do, and that came out first, and then boom, you know. I remember that year. That was a good time. Those were good times.
Good times.
And Holden, what's crazy is like for me, and I teach my children this, and I teach like my family this. Like for me, like when this shit was happening, it was happening. So I didn't know that it was like rap of what it is and what hip hop is today, because it was like I was living in it. And since I was living in it, it was like, and it was taboo also. You know, I used to get thrown out of places for the way I dress.
Mm.
You know what I mean? I used to ask to take my hat off, or this, that, or you can't have, you know, sneakers. You can't do this. Your pants are too baggy. Because through fashion, and we could talk fashion, because I've done the whole stages of fashion. I wore white tees down to like right by my knees and shit, you know.
When did you get into fashion? Like, was it just an always thing?
It was 1994. 1994. I started getting picked on in school for not like, because I would like, you know, I had girlfriends in school, so people pick on me because I had the only thing they could start picking on me was my clothes.
Mm.
And I used to be like, nah. So I went to my family. I went to one of my family members one day, and I went to my cousin, and she was like, nah, you're gonna get fly. And she took me shopping, and she showed me how to shop. She showed me how to like take like $200 and get outfit, some sneakers, this and a whole little get up, and then, you know, switch
to the right store,
switch cheese and shit. She taught me everything. And then I learned. And then from there, I loved it. I fell in love with it. Like, I fell in love with clothing, like all types of clothing, not just like, because in those years, I would be dressing in Tommy or some polo, but then the next day, I'll go out with my skater buddies and I'll be wearing Jenko pants and shit like that.
Word.
Oh, say word.
Yeah. I'll be wearing alien shirts and Jenko pants. You know what I mean? And fucking beaded necklace. I'll be out there skating. So I fuck with, you know, with everything.
So like, I guess when you get down to New Jersey and you actually build your own studio, is that like what year is that?
That was 2002. It was in 2002. Concrete in 2002. And I was right across the street from a strip club. It's still there to this day. Shout out to the Squeeze in Jersey. Mad people. From everybody. They know what the fuck I'm talking about. But yeah, that's right there in Weehawken, right next to Hoboken. And since I was across the street from the strip club, my studio got popping quick. People either come out the strip club and come to the studio, or go to the studio and then go to the strip club.
That's amazing.
And then the strip club will wind up in my studio, of course, you know, so all the women wind up in the studio and all that stuff, and everybody be chilling in it. But that's a different story for another day.
That's wild shit, man.
Yeah. But that's how I got popped. That's how I got popping. And then I wound up having kids.
No, but it's still like a vibe, right? Like, it's still like a big lesson. It is like, location matters, which is something that people don't know a lot about. Because sometimes people wildly open up shit and it'd be far away and nobody really want to go there. Or they'll like book a show at a venue and like it's just mad inconvenient. But if you buy the strip club, you're probably more convenient because people going to the strip club, they'll go to the way to go to a good one. But it's also then creating the vibe. So playing to that, understanding the dynamics of the situation and creating that, like you clearly had to have an environment that strippers wanted to be in.
Yeah, for sure. It's always, I mean, I create a good environment that a lot of women want to be in.
That's amazing. So then you end up, you said getting married, having a kid.
I wound up, you could say, yeah, I got married. I didn't wind up legally getting married, but you could say, yeah, I got married. I wound up having a kid, and I just completely stopped everything.
So you stopped the studio?
Yeah, well, all right. So we'll talk about it. That's what the interview's for. And since I'm with Dutch, it gets me comfortable and I can speak. So I had a partner in the studio, and my partner, he fucked up. So when he fucked up, you get me, I had my shit together, but since we were going half on everything, I was able to ease out with all my equipment and everything and all that shit. And I was able to ease out and just put everything in storage and leave while I was still ahead. You get me?
Right.
So in the midst of that, I met, the first, my first baby mama. And I met her, and it was a wrap. I was like, fuck it. I'm doing this daddy shit. So I just focused on being a dad. I was like wearing dad shorts and shit.
That's wild. So you just hard pivot to being a dad, and I guess you're out of music entirely at this point. Like you just pivot into what then? Just the dad culture.
I started working at like UPS, and I just became like a married man. And I was like focused on my hobbies. I was like fucking collecting comic books and action figures and shit like that, being a dad, and like just being the shit with my dad, just being a dad, being a husband. That's what I did. I did that probably 2000 and you could say guaranteed 2000 and the late 2003 into shit. 2006 is when I opened up a studio again.
So what makes you decide to like leave the dad life, or at least evolve the dad life?
Well, a couple times I would have people come to my house and be like, Paulie, get your shit together. You are better than this. And I always had the same plan since I was a kid. It was like, make this amount of money, buy land, chill in the woods, and do whatever I want.
Remember the plan.
That was always the game plan. You know what I mean? So fucking, I would have friends come through and be like, yo, you this is what it's about. You know what I mean? Like you promised you were gonna do this for yourself, and you're sitting here and you could be doing more. They didn't like seeing me like that. A lot of people didn't like seeing me not living that life, being a dad or anything, because I'm still a father. My kids are right upstairs, but it was more or less like they wanted to see me do what I do. They wanted to see me be Paulie Hustle. They wanted to see me work. They knew that with me, I could put some salt on it, or maybe I could put some pepper on it, or maybe I can make you want to just season it yourself, but you're going to get something, So they were like, yo, head into the game and everything. And then, to be honest with you, I wound up getting hit by a car.
Man, the amount of pivots and like the left turns in your story.
Oh, you have no idea. We ain't even really talking my story, but I do got stories. But I wound up getting hit by a car. So I wound up, long story short, I get hit by a taxi cab on the crosswalk, and that shit like eats the motherfucking stop sign, everything, right across the street from the fire department. So it's like, it's beautiful. So I wound up getting hit, bang. And I'm home now for like a month. So I haven't been home for like, I don't know how many fucking years, maybe like 2-3 years, because I've been working the whole time from, living in my apartment with my kids and my baby mama and all that shit. I'm working. So I'm finally home. So I was finally home, and I was able to watch TV and catch up on everything. So I wound up catching up on some music, and I was like, nah. I was like, I need back in, So I already had the itch and shit. So then I get invited to a fucking Naughty by Nature show. So we wound up going to Naughty by Nature show and shit. And long story short, I wound up on stage chilling with Tretch and all this shit, and it was real dope. And everybody was like,
how do you get up on stage?
He pulled me up.
It was just like the random chance of he looked in and you're the guy he grabbed, or?
Well, I was in front of the concert the whole time, and I was in the front row, and I was with a whole load of people because I had like my mom, like my kids' godfathers there type shit, like my nephews, my cousins, and all that. And we're in fucking BB King's. We're in BB King's. So, he wound up church the whole night. I'm sitting there rapping everybody's verses, even the opening acts, all that shit. And so by the end of the night, they pulled me up on stage and they're like, "Yo, we're gonna vibe with this motherfucker." So by the time Hip Hop Parade was going down, I was like singing it through the mic. It was like boom, and that was it. It was over from there. I opened up the studio the next day. I quit my job, and I never looked back ever since.
You got to perform Hip Hop Parade with Naughty by Nature.
Yeah, correct.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was real dope. And I grew up on that song as a little kid, like that was like...
Yeah, me too.
And it wasn't like it was rap. It was music then. It was just like, it was a #1 hit song, no matter who thinks what. It was all over the world. It was like everywhere. It was untouchable. It was all over the radio. You didn't have to like, even if you didn't like rap, everybody listened to that song. It was everywhere. It was Hip Hop fucking Parade. It was music. So, and that set it off for me. And I was like, oh, it's over. And I opened up a studio and oh my God, it started setting sail. Like it really did from there.
This one was not next to a strip club.
Nah, this one was not next to a strip club. It was in Mamak's studio, which is still open to this day. We know a lot of people who work in there to this day.
That's a big studio
that are there now. They're like the new cats in there, but I was in there years ago.
EO Dub Dojo is in Mamak Studio.
There you go. I came across EO Dub because of Mamak Studio. The whole real deal.
So this is like a big studio place that rents out studios to other people?
All right, so we're gonna get into some crazy. I always like to do crazy shit, right? So we're gonna get into something crazy. So Mamak Studio is a big factory with different studios in it.
Okay.
Within the back of it is is basically a legal sweatshop. So they do like garment and linen and all that, right? It's owned by the Rothschilds, which is so interesting. I just had to throw that in there. And no, it is, right? And it's a beautiful place. I mean, that place is like, I call it Alcatraz because it's like the projects. Like no one in, no one out. Everybody's family. It's all love. That place could suck you in and you could be there for years and there's no windows. So you never know when you're going in and when you're coming out.
Holden said, what?
And it's like the projects. I've seen a lot of wicked shit go down there, but
yeah, when
I got to Mamak's was the greatest place I ever went. I got there. I wound up.
Nice space.
Yeah, I wound up linking.
I just thought about what just happened. Like you just described it wild crazy, and I'm like, yeah, it's a nice place.
It is though. Yo, before I left there, and you can ask everybody. Before I left there, I had a bodega in that bitch.
Word.
I was selling beers. I was selling Lucy's. I was selling fucking. You needed it. Smart. There was no reason to leave. Smart. Pieces of equipment, headphone jacks, chargers, phone cards. Smart. I had little snacks, little chips, little Gatorades, bottles of water. And I had a whole bodega in that bitch. But then that shit got shut down. That shit got shut down one time, and that's when I wound up in Burgerline, Dutch.
Okay, so hold on. You're there. This place is wild. You're making music and slanging bodega goods at the people to keep everyone there. That's wild shit.
I'm doing Real Deal at this point.
Yeah. Because that Real Deal, that's how it was when you went.
Okay, so what is Real Deal?
Real Deal Radio was my radio show, which turned out to be like a TRL type, 106 in Park type, like game show type shit. You know what I mean? Like, yes. Yeah, it's really insane. It still hasn't been mimicked. You know what I mean? Like it's ahead of its fucking time.
Honestly,
it's one thing that I'm conceited about a lot of things, but that's like one thing I'm very cocky about. Real Deal was a magical place, and everybody knows it.
Yeah, big facts.
So that's like when we watched that interview thing with Coste. That's at the Real Deal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Real Deal right there.
And then you guys did like a live phone call in the middle of this shit, and like really were you were doing some shit that would go on to be like really popular YouTube shit back when YouTube wasn't very popular.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I got on. I got on through that because when I started working, when I opened up that studio, I came across Hazel, Hazel on the board, Silent Assassin. And she put me onto a technology that was like alien to me. And it was like streaming and all this other shit. And it was like, whoa. It was like, what do we do? And we could do this and we could do everything. Like
Right.
at the end of the day, what people also forget, because Real Deal was so dope, is that we were playing your music videos. So you would watch the interview and then all of a sudden your music video would drop. It would just, we went from playing radio music, radio style, to being like a music video show, a little game show.
Yeah, that is pretty wild. So you could be like a battle rap guy in grind time, and all of a sudden your music video is being plugged into this show where arguably nobody else can do that.
Yeah. We used to cater to the artists, and that's why people loved us, because we would cater to you.
Big facts.
Like, before we go into that, I do want to take a second out to shout outs to the Mudslingers for putting me on, from Mamax and shit, because they're the ones who put me on, and they put me onto the EO Dub. They put me on the Zoo, and Zoo always believed in me, and he always gave me that extra and with him, it was able to open a lot of doors for me, so I just want to mention, that part.
Oh, that's wild dope, because we're on, right? Like, we stream this show on the EO Dub platform, right? So
Facts.
it's on there.
That's this Zoom right now.
Right now.
Wow.
Yeah, we literally call it the EO Zoom. You know what I mean? And it's the same Zoom that's been running ever since Vice passed, when everybody first got on. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like,
definitely.
super dope.
And it's like, now we're gonna talk about that real quick, Holden. We're gonna talk about that. Like, EO Dub was such a magical place. It helped me carve my show to what it was, because they had a theme. You would go up there and they would fucking, start their show off the Three Kings, because when I first went, it was always the Three Kings.
Mm-hmm.
And they would start their show off and they had their fucking intro, they had their outro, they had the in-betweens and all that. And later on, you could see, even with the themes, like how Real Deal was, it was like, we got that from the Dub, point blank. Like, that was like,
shout out the Dub.
That whole stand front hosting and with the beats and taking time to do like Real Deal, clear my throat, and all that shit we used to do with people, interaction. That was 100%. That 100% came from the EO Dub, without a doubt.
Yo, it's so interesting.
Time, and like, it was jaw dropping. It was like, it was like being at the shelter, and I've been at the shelter. So
I don't know what the shelter is.
Eminem, where Eminem came out of, D12 came out of there. It's like
the place in Detroit where they filmed 8 Mile. They even filmed the 8 Mile battle there and all that shit. But it's actually a real place.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
okay. That's wild. I just saw the Marv 1 battle in there with Eminem just this morning, so I can actually picture that in my head right now. But
shout out to them too, because when I went to Detroit, they were the ones who helped me down. Was Marv 1, Quest for Cody, and all that.
Shouts to Marv 1. Shouts to Quest for Cody. He's been on the show before. Yes. He's a guest alumni. Shouts to them. Shouts to Detroit. Word. Big shouts to Detroit. Shouts to Will P. Shouts to Mac Myron. Shouts to Ill Will. Shouts to everybody in Detroit, like our family. Like I'm naming some names that like I haven't even met, but I already know what time it is. Like, our family is family with their family.
Yeah. No,
you know what I mean? So like, we're family. Like if I were to ever see them in a fight, I'd absolutely jump in. Like, I don't care. You know what I mean? Like,
so you want to hear a crazy story about Detroit?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So, and I have a witness, right? So I'm in Detroit, and it's me and Penn. It's me and Poison Pen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we wind up going to the strip club, and we get there late, and we just like kind of like stumble in there. And in the midst of going in there, this fight goes down, right? So me and Penn just like sneak out the back door, and we get through the side, and we're able to leave. And then like the fight comes out to the front, you know, and everybody's fucking wilding. And then motherfuckers pull out guns, and everybody starts running. You know? So these guns get drawn. Me and Penn, we dip down the road, we keep straight, and we hit this place called like Coney Island Hot Dogs.
What the fuck? You hit Coney Island Hot Dogs in Detroit?
There's a place. People know it in Detroit. It's called Coney Island. It's right there in downtown. It's in the center.
Yeah, I know, but that's serendipitous, seeing as how, for those who don't know, I'll say now real quick, like Poison Pen is like, Nems is the mayor of Coney Island. Let's never get that confused, right? But like, if Nems is the mayor, then like, you know, Penn is like, you know, the mayor's right-hand man. You know what I mean? Like, Penn he's the counselor of Coney Island. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for him to run into, for you guys to be dipping out of a spot that was getting shot up, right? And end up at a place called Coney Island Dogs in fucking Detroit is pretty serendipitous, or like ironic, or like something.
We sat down and we're eating like nothing ever happened, and we're just like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? And we're just like, whatever. And we're more concerned about judging what the fuck the Coney Island hot dog is, because, you know, motherfuckers had hot dogs straight off the boardwalk in Brooklyn. You know what I mean? So it's like, it was weird. It was weird, but it was dope. It was dope. that was an experience me and Penn had.
Were they acceptable hot dogs?
I really don't remember, because I was concentrated on getting weed the whole time. And like, I wound up getting the weed at the strip club. That's where we kind of went there.
Oh my gosh. I think we saw like a 1-minute clip of you in Detroit talking about getting weed. And that's the only thing that was on your mind. I don't know if that's the same trip.
That's the same trip.
Yo, it's crazy how some of our actual history is documented online and shit. Like there's like my trip to Florida with PH and Swave and them, right? Yeah. Back then, rest in peace to our brother PH, right?
Yeah,
but like back then, everybody knew that PH did not ever smoke weed. And on that trip, he finally smoked weed, and was not only smoking weed, but rolling it up. And I'm doing a video blog for like the whole trip, and I catch it on camera. So it's like I have like footage of like us chilling together.
I just told you the other day I was shocked. I was like, oh shit, Penn smoked weed on camera. I was like, that's like,
yeah.
I've never seen Penn smoke weed in my life.
Penn and PH didn't ever used to smoke weed. And so like to see them smoke weed is like, what? Like,
I smoked weed with PH. You know?
Yeah.
I smoked weed with PH, but I never seen Penn hit weed in my life until that day on camera. Ever.
Wow.
You know? Shouts to Penn, but that's my experience in Detroit, and it happened to be with Poison Pen. That's like my memorable experience in Detroit, and it happened to be with Poison Pen.
My only experience in real life with Poison Pen involves smoking blunts.
That's dope, yo.
Yeah, it's one of the highlights of things. It's pretty high in my highlight reel. I smoked blunts with Poison Pen in Brooklyn.
He recognized you. Knew who you were.
Penn was my boss for like my boss for like 2-3 years, I could say.
And he was not your boss. You guys you owned a business, and he fucking hired your services because you were running your own thing. You had real.
Yeah, but that was real good. I feel like I was working for Grind Time, and I had to direct Grind Time the way that was catered to the way y'all wanted it. So I looked at him at that time like I was, working for him. He was my boss. I mean, what's what it is,
He was a client. I'm saying that's what it was. It was a business transaction.
I don't say it in a way that should be offensive. I'm admirable towards it. You get what I'm saying?
Like, absolutely. So absolutely. I think that, you know what I mean? When you get paid for services, you know what I mean? And you're like independent you're a fucking 1099 back then. You know what I'm saying? Like you're running your own business. You know what I'm saying? That's not the same thing as being like an employee. I was an employee. I was a part of staff. You know what I'm saying? Like I was fucking working for free most times. You know what I mean?
Too. That's what I'm saying. Me too. You know, a lot of hip hop comes from the heart before you start.
Yeah,
you know,
big facts.
A lot of people have to accept that too. You know what I'm saying? That cherry comes later as well.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Because at the end of the day, to not say that, to say that I haven't been fruitful from any of it would be a goddamn lie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
goddamn lie. Yeah.
It's part of my, my resume. It's part of my collateral and everything, and I appreciate it. You know, it's fucking.
How did you link up with Grind Time?
Yeah. So my old partner Cruiser, shout out to Cruiser, he just had his ways with everybody, and we wind up filming some battles in Jersey that wind up fucking with Jess and Dutch, and like Grind Time will kind of go over there all the time. When Animals attacked. And the truth of the matter was they were like, yo, we're stealing your cameraman and your whole fucking shit. You know,
we stole everything. Yo, I stole everything. Like, I went up in there and I was like, yo, this is dope. That's dope. That's dope. The cameraman is what? Who?
Which was us. So So what happened is that we were the first one to put out a battle within 24 hours.
Yeah.
And at that time, that was unheard of.
Unheard of.
So everybody was in the rush to get that done. You know, so basically when we did it, Grind Time was like, yo, let's do it. Nah, it wasn't even like that. The draft scooped us, which I think was Dutch. All right, the draft scooped us, and we was supposed to do the public assembly, and the shit got shut down. We had to go to the park, and we wound up going to the park, to the concrete, like fucking baseball shit. Wound up recording that, and Tim was there, and he said, nah, fuck, I'm scooping whatever. And then we were like, it's all good. Nobody got to fight over us. We're going to be able to record when animals attack. We're going to be able to record the draft, and we're going to be able to record Grind Time. And
see, that's a businessman. That's not an employee. That's a man that.
We're gonna do everything. So we were able to do everything, and it was locked in from there. And we worked hard. We worked 24. It was our life. We worked 24/7 for it. You know. So
yeah.
And I linked up with them because I linked up with Grind Time because of like Just James and everything. And I met Just James, of course, through EO Dub, and that's, you see the link, you know, like dang dang dang. So if there's levels to this shit, and those were the levels.
Mm-hmm.
So you're basically filming and editing and making sure that Grind Time's battles get out and whatnot on time, while simultaneously doing this interview show variety hour thing.
Real Deal was killing it at that time. It was whoa. It was whoa. Like if I could do it again, I would do it again the same way. It was crazy because we had the whole. As soon as we tapped into the battle rap game, we had the whole United States and the whole, even up to you, by you, dog. We had Canada,
that makes sense.
Like right before, like King of the Dot, like right before King of the Dot. Shout out to fucking like Bishop, Bishop, I can't pronounce it.
Bishop Brigante.
Yeah, Bishop Brigante. You know what I'm saying, and all that shit. And it was real. It was real. We had like a package. Everywhere. We had love everywhere, and it was like we catered to everybody. So battle rap didn't even get in the way of, like doing regular underground rap or everything. Because Real Deal, we did 5 shows. We did 5 shows on a Saturday, every Saturday.
So you would just record 5 of them at once?
No, we'd do live. So basically, 1 o'clock show would start, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and then 9 o'clock. The 7 and 9 o'clock slots usually was prime time. You get what I'm saying? And that 5 o'clock slot usually was like our main celebrity guest. You know,
so you were streaming this like live.
Oh yeah. At that time, we have like
this is like before. This is like what, 2008, 2009.
We had over 1 million streams. It was insane. We had over 1 million streams. It was insane. Chat won't be crazy. We had so many streams back then. It brought me here. It got me to where I'm at today.
Where did you stream it?
I had a whole storefront on Burger Line Avenue in New Jersey, which is like Burger Line Avenue. Well, Burger Line Avenue is the longest strip with the most consecutive businesses in the United States of America. So it's like miles of just like independent businesses, and I had a storefront there. So I was on the main Ave. So by week, I'm recording like local artists, and on the weekends, I got this dope ass show with like everybody showing up, and it made it great for Jersey and the hip hop community in Jersey because I was able to bring in New York and everybody in there because I was from NY. So. Because it's hard to get a New York motherfucker to go to Jersey. Let me tell you, they could just take a 5-minute train ride there and they get there in the woods.
Fact. That is how we treat it. Like but you know what though? We fuck with Jersey more than we fuck with Staten Island. So it's like something's got to be said for that.
Yo, I fuck with Staten Island heavy. Shout outs to Lex Luthor. Shout outs to fucking Vinavici, my dude.
Vici.
You know.
Lex. Shouts to Peace God.
You know, yeah, shouts to Scream, shouts to Scream. I love the island. I usually go there to just like play golf, and I haven't golfed there in a very long time. So many cops play on those golf courses there.
That is not what I was expecting, but I guess it makes total sense because you're a big businessman. So big businessmen play golf.
Yeah. You know, I play golf, brother. I do a lot. I do everything, Holden.
I believe you.
These are facts.
We got to jump out of a plane. You ever been skydiving?
I have not been skydiving.
So let's go skydiving. Let's like set it up for like maybe like next year or the year after.
Let's do it.
All right.
And let's stick to it. Dutch, you down to jump out of a plane?
Come on. Don't play me like that. You know how I get down. Once I say I do something, it's done.
You ready to do it, Dutch? You're gonna jump out of a plane? We'll go skydiving.
I'm gonna do it.
Let's go skydiving, like real shit. Let's go skydiving.
That sounds terrifying but exhilarating.
Yeah.
You'll be strapped to somebody. Pause. You'll be all good.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah, I believe it. I mean, it's one of those things where, like, I don't know. It's pretty safe, relatively speaking. The stats do not make it sound like you're gonna die doing this. It just sounds fucking terrifying.
We ain't gonna die. The most that's gonna happen, you're gonna pass out and wake up and be like, "Ooh!"
And pass out again.
Fair enough. But when you hear skydiving, it's not my first thought. Is not I'm gonna pass out. It's I'm gonna fucking land and be dead. But
you're gonna be alright.
But I'm into that. That sounds like the kind of adventures I'd rather do in life than not do.
This is the first on-air made event in the show's history. You know what I mean? Like we haven't like did a thing yet where like the guest is like, yo, we're gonna do something together. We're gonna say it on air live. And now the live is cementing it even more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're gonna make it since while we do it, you know, with the package, when we do it, they record it for you. They give us everything on DVD or whatever video, whatever fuck, the little file. Yeah. And we'll be able to upload it to this shit and we'll play it when we do it.
Gang. We'll put it in a music video. You know me.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
You gotta jump out of a plane, yo.
Jump out of a plane.
Sounds fire. I mean, yeah, I'm in. Terrifying, but I'm in.
Yo, let's do it. That's what we're saying. We do everything, bro. We Littty bros.
Plan it for next year. Nah, these are big facts. We the Littty bros. We gotta be lit.
Littty bros.
We're always lit.
We're lit, you know?
Hopping out of fucking planes.
Yo,
we're hopping out of everywhere. Hopping out of everywhere. Hopping out of your local strip club. You know what I'm saying? And hopping into the middle of your heart.
I'm with you, Polly. So, yo, how did you stream in that time? Because this is like before Twitch and everything, right?
Yeah, so it was Ustream and live stream.
So you would just jump on there.
Did you start fucking? You were fucking with Ustream before?
I was the first person to ever live stream a battle. Let's talk about that.
Wait,
let's talk about that.
Before we did it with Grind Time East Coast? Or are you talking about that time?
Yeah, I was the first person to stream a live stream battle.
Yeah, that was that time, right? Or you
I did it for Grind Time. I did it for Grind Time. I've done it for WWA.
Okay, so you did do it for when? So you did it for When Animals Attack before you did it for Grind Time.
Yeah.
You see? So then I have it wrong. I've been fucking out here spitting revisionist history. God damn.
Because Hazel on the board was the only person that could do
the
that.
thing I'm man enough to fucking admit when I'm wrong about some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you did it at When Animals Attack, then that
you guys were the first. Grind Time were the first people to do the pay-per-view.
Pay-per-views, that's right.
That's to be fair, that's what you claim,
That's what I
Flacco.
always
You
say.
do not
That's
claim
what I always
streaming.
Claim. Facts.
Okay.
Facts.
They were the first to do the pay-per-view.
Correct.
Nah, but that's wild.
And that
so
was after the live stream because, of course, motherfuckers stopped live streaming because they wanted to get that pay-per-view. You know what I mean?
Yo, you know what? Real quick.
That's
Sorry,
that's so wild.
Yeah, I want to give credit to the person, right? You were streaming once again because of who?
Hazel on the board.
Dude,
we had the sound effects machine right now. We dropped the sound effects.
Yeah, we gotta
like,
invest
we
in
gotta
the
get
sound
the we
effects
gotta
machine.
we gotta get the sound effect machine. We gotta get the air horn going after Hazel on the horn.
Hazel on the board. The ghost of Grind Time East Coast. Oh, the ghost of Grind Time East Coast. Hazel on the board, yo.
Yeah, that's huge. Like, cause like to me, I look at like the history of how things connect. Like, we're literally on a streaming platform doing this now, and we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for people doing shit like streaming battles way back in the day. Because it took these. I remember when it wasn't cool. Like when I was like YouTube was cool, but streaming wasn't necessarily cool yet.
It was hard for me, because people would be like, "Oh, you're not on car radio," and I used to be like, like, fuck car radio. This is the future. Like, you can see this on your phone. Like, stop being an idiot. But it didn't matter because Ustream and Livestream gave us a deal. So we saw like how Hazel freaked it. And I wasn't just doing Real Deal Radio. I was doing Real Deal Women. I was doing Real Deal Latino. I was doing Real Deal Soul. I was doing Real Deal Metal. So I had like all these, because I had a big state. I was doing the Lavish Life show. You know what I mean? I was
What's
doing
the Lavish Life show?
That was basically shout out to my homegirl Lavish. She used to be a dope radio host with Joe Colombo, and she used to do her show with DTF with Joe Colombo, Just Days, and her. And they had like a weekly show that was real dope. And in the midst of it, like Lavish was loud and popping. She had a beautiful radio host voice, and she got along with everybody. So she would always bring interviews in her show. But her show was in the middle of the week, and my show was on a Saturday. So when we met each other, we were on each other's shows, but we were rival shows. But we weren't rivals we were rivals as like friends. So we made we themed out all our beefs and everything. It was cute. It was so cute. So, but Lavish at that time, during the beginning of Grind Time East Coast, she was, interviewing a lot of the battle rappers too. You feel me? Yeah. Shouts to her. You get what I'm saying?
Big fact. Shouts to Lavish.
These are little things that people miss because, like we said, like since it's different, there's people who decided to keep going, and there's people who just decided a different life, but they were always there. There was people who were always there from the beginning, and I remember, who was there, especially in the battle rap game, because it was special. It was special. It was real special times.
It was.
So then
we were creating. People
were getting. Look at the paychecks that are given out now for battle rapping. Right?
No, it makes sense. You guys created a huge thing.
This is like the beginning. This is the beginning of it. This is when Smack was making a comeback.
Yeah. And the only reason he was making a comeback, to be clear, with no disrespect to Smack in any way, right? But he was making a comeback because he saw what everybody else saw, which was how poppin' we had the battle rap industry on YouTube. You know what I mean? So he was like, yo, I was already doing the DVDs with the battles at the end back in the day. He had more right than anybody to come back. But to be clear, the only reason that he came back was because we had a whole industry popping and a whole way of doing shit. And there was an opportunity for him to be able to come back. And he came back stronger than ever, and now he has the biggest league in battle rap and fucking moves the culture forward with what he does. You know what I mean? But to be clear, He came back because we had
like I said, it made Smack.
We had this shit popping.
He had to come back at that time because of that. And then they weren't able to put out battles like Grind Time East Coast was. It was like ridiculous. Even Avocado across the field had to step up his game, you know, virtually, which he did. You know, he had to step up his game virtually and with whatever. But after a while,
I have no idea who Avocado is.
They started saying, you don't know who Avocado is?
Yo, don't get offended though, son.
I don't know why I would know that. Yo, I mean, I understand the significance may be real, so but Paulie, man, I'd be learning all this on the fly through these interviews.
Paulie, let me tell you something. My thing with Holden is this. I want it to be different than how I've been with all my friends.
1 second, I gotta tell my kids to shut the fuck up. 1 second. Yo, I'm doing an interview over here. Take that shit somewhere else, bro. I can't hear you in the motherfucking background. That's how you raise your kids, folks. Yeah, but go ahead. What were you saying about Holden? Like,
I have not been like, right, like we're like usually throughout history. I think we've all done this, right? It's like you meet somebody and you're like, wait, you never watched X, Y, and Z. You never heard this and that. Well, now I'm gonna make you sit through it, right? Holden did not, before we met, Holden was not into battle rap. He did not know battle rap. So when we start the show together and he is interviewing battle rappers, this is the first time that he's ever heard of Iron Solomon.
Bro, he threw me into Iron Solomon and is like, just Google this dude. Here's like 2 tips. Have fun.
That's insane. Yo, yeah.
I had no idea who this man was.
I come from the era where it's like, you know, I was a radio host, so for me, I studied everything and anything before I even looked or even decided.
I mean, I had a week to study everything and anything, and I did my best.
I mean, that's the New York way, dog. I had a gun in front of my face, and look at me. So you have the same pressure. It's the New York way, and that happening in Chicago. So that's why I said like New York is all culture. You know what I mean? Like. That's just the New York culture, dog. That's just. No,
I'm not mad at it. Like, yo, like you can be pretty prepared. Plus, we just invented a format that's like, let's just create the episode that gives everyone else the information they need.
Yeah, you know, that's fucking dope. That's fucking dope. Yeah, well, Avocado was the dude who helped down every coast but the East. You know what I'm saying? And
Avocado is the guy that did the video work for Lush One division.
He did Grind Time.
He's the one that used to, when I was talking to Lush One in the first episode, Holden, about the shit above their heads in the battles.
Right.
I'm talking about Avocado essentially, because like without Avocado, they did not have
Neo. That. He is the Neo of like the fucking
video work,
filmography of all that.
Yeah.
Without Avocado, there would not be a Hazel, and like they haven't even met each other, but. That's how it was. That's how it was. And
he's the godfather.
Avocado's still responsible for a lot of battles coming out to this day. You know, even up your way out in Canada. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he is that. Do shouts to Avocado.
If you ever watched the KOT,
it's the little tiny people. Today it seems like it's all the little people we're mentioning. It's all the little people we're mentioning today. You can't forget about them.
That's dope.
Little big people.
But those are like the people, because a lot of times we're looking for new perspectives, right? At the end of the day, and you can't get like that without knowing the bigger picture stuff. And let's be real, like everybody wants that behind the scenes, how does it work shit, you know? Like, and so hearing about all these people that you would never know about that you could go look into is really useful. Because if you ever actually try to Google this shit now, it's not like it used to be. Stuff is diluted with Reddit threads of nonsense, and SEO ruined the internet. So like searching for stuff in 2010, you could find stuff. Now you find stuff written by people like me rewriting other people's stuff. It's a wild time to be on the net. So like it's really important to kind of create these paper trails of who's relevant and who did what. Because how the fuck are you going to Google this shit otherwise? Yeah. He's going to get some guy's fucking YouTube video where he's regurgitating nonsense.
Yeah. I mean, I've been that guy.
Me too.
We've been that guy. We've been that guy.
All good. All good.
Yeah, but that's how, big story short, but that's how we've gotten to
Nah. No big story short. We got
it's perfect
the rest of the story to go. We got the rest
but
of the
that's what
story
it
to go.
is. Like, and it's interesting. The way you tell stories is great. So like, it's definitely not a bore to listen to you describe anything. And your tangents are like wild shit that nobody would think to ask you. Maybe Flacko would think to ask you. I would not think to ask you any of that shit.
Yeah.
This is my brother, and I know him very well.
Facts.
But I'm still learning things right now, and that's beautiful. That's what I love about this series, is learning things about my loved ones and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, it's been great. All right. So now.
So you basically do the streaming thing. You get kind of all kinds of clout and actual opportunities based off of what you generate, which is remarkable given the time and how few people are doing it. Just gotta throw that out there. For the geek in me is appreciating everything you did in streaming. And that's fucking wild shit at the time and everything. And then what happens after how long does that run for? Like, is it like run coincide until grind time's done, or does it like have a different trajectory?
I kept on. I stopped doing grind time mostly because I got into fashion big time, and as well as everybody was in the race virtually. So it was like at that time, grind time was ready to go to the next step, and I was ready to go to the next step. So that's why we parted ways with grind time, because at the end of the day, it's the same reason why I parted ways with fashion, because at the end of the day, when you get to when you start here and then you get here, you gotta hire new management. You just got no choice, and it's not like I was never able to go to the front door and not be let in. You know what I'm saying? So it's more or less like I started working over here and they had to go on to the next, editors and all that shit, because things evolve and things advance.
Right.
So that's what happened.
And so what happens with you getting into more fashion? What does that like actually entail?
I linked up with Ronnie Feig and shit, and he didn't even have Kith yet. He was in the midst. He already had it created. It was about to be a grand opening and shit. And
I'm not sure who he is.
It's all good. He's owner of a brand called Kith, which is like very popular now. And I remember when it wasn't. So it's weird for me. I'm still like accepting it, because it's weird. It's weird to see not to see. I've seen brands go far, but it's weird to have like stem from that garment and to see it.
It's like crazy seeing.
Now it's like Coca-Cola. Like he has a Coca-Cola collab. Like he has a collab with Coca-Cola. He just like recently put out an ad with like Naomi Campbell in it. Like, so what I'm talking about, of course, it's very shocking to have seen it go from the garment it was to Naomi fucking Campbell. And I'm not shocked like, oh my God, fuck that. I'm shocked like, bravo. Like, wow, I was a part of that. So, but I started off with him and he wound up opening a store in Brooklyn and in Soho, and that shit just grew big and big. And that was the creation of Hype. And at that time, I was one of the flyest motherfuckers in New York City. I don't care what anybody says. I was. And then it was like, I still ain't. But I was in the sense where it was like fashion, I was up on it. Everything. The ins and out. Sneakers, I had it before you. If you wanted sneakers, you most likely came to me to get them. So it was like, it was big. So it was a big market. And I was able to leave radio because my dude saw me on the bus one day and was like, yo, how you living with radio? And I was like, I'm living like this. And he's like, yo, you're wasting your time going to fashion. And like, I was heartbroken. And he invited me to like a Wu-Tang event. So I went to the Wu-Tang event and I went there fly. He was like, yo, just fly. And I went there fly. I had fucking Raekwon and these niggas like saying, yo, where'd you get your shit, son? Like, put me on. And it's like, these are the motherfuckers that put me on when I was a kid, like looking at them in the magazines, looking at them in the music videos, rocking shit. And when that happened, of course, my head is big. So I let that shit fly. I started a whole fucking business and I became like a fashionista, a little Dapper Dan, and I was intelligent with it. And I did that for a couple of years. And I was able to retire from that. I got into Supreme heavy, and Supreme pieces is like owning fucking Basquiat pieces and shit. So I was smart with that. I had a whole Hall of Fame Supreme. You know, I'm one of the reasons why that box logo is popping. You know, I'm one of the reasons why motherfuckers know Supreme. So it's like, you know, and it's like,
he was rocking Supreme when nobody was even.
My fucking hoochie daddy shorts right now, Supreme, son.
I never heard the word hoochie daddy one time before.
Yo, they just came up with the term, but we've been wearing hoochie daddy shorts for years. That's not like it's just a new term for it. It's just
I don't give a fuck. Give me that name. Give me that name.
Yeah, give me that name. I like.
Call me a hoochie daddy.
I love hoochie daddy. I'm like, what?
Call me a hoochie daddy. That just means you. That just means that these bitches want me. I don't mean to say bitches, but women.
That's amazing.
No.
So you basically procured items for people. Is that what you do?
I did that, but I also told you what was hot, what was not. I influenced designs. I put out sneakers. I was organizing sneaker release events, making them big, having kids line up fucking for about a week to cop sneakers. Doing sneaker battles all over the United States.
What's a sneaker battle?
Basically, you go and you show off your stash, and you know the crowd. It's just like rhyming. The crowd owes you and stuff, you know, and it's just like, yo. And we talk smack while you at it. You know what I mean? So, motherfuckers be like, yeah, I got this pair of this from this and this and that. Da, 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 da. Fuck your mama. Oh, you know, and it was like, wow. I'm like, oh yeah,
so this is battle rap.
Like, oh yeah,
shoes.
Get that shit out of here. Be like, that shit is trash. I got these that were worn by Jordan during this game. Signed, and he licked the bottom of the shit. Oh, you know, and everybody's like, oh, that was a sneaker battle.
What's the name of that show that's on HBO with the voguing? Because that shit is like battle rap. You know what I mean?
That shit's like, fire too.
Yeah, voguing is pretty fire.
I've been going to Vogue battles before that shit was like, I can't even say
back in the day
because Vogue has been going on before I was even born.
Yeah, before.
But I've been going to Vogue. I love Vogue battles, bro. Fucking shout outs to all my motherfuckers in that community, but they know what I'm talking about. All the old Vogue battles and Escalitas and all that shit. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. That shit was popping back in the day.
Right. So you just like were literally just immersed in the top end of the fashion world for like as this is picking up.
Yeah, it was changing. We were changing like skinny jeans over to joggers. We were going back to joggers. I was one of the first people to bring back that jogger. That's for sure. And that's with the cup, the cup, you know, the cup pants and shit and all that. Bringing back the Asics, the New Balances and all that, and limited sneakers. Because mostly, you know, the hood was mostly on just like Jordans and Air Force Ones, you know, or whatever they buy at the Jazz or Jimmy Jazz, you know. So that's
like that's exactly what it was.
And it's like, I see the game now, even with battle rap. I see the way they start dressing better and whatever, da 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 da. They weren't dressing like that when I was on the scene. I was dressing like that. And all those motherfuckers gave me props. All of them gave me props. They always gave me props. Everybody always gave me props for the way I dress. Within the, you know, the community and within all that shit. Everybody was always like, damn, sneakers, outfit, fly, this and this and that. There was not one single person who didn't stop me for the way I dress. Every borough. You know, everybody knew it, you know?
So that led you to a point where you could just retire in 2016, I think you said.
Yeah, I sold my whole Supreme collection. Well, like 80% of it. That's like selling an art museum. It was over. I'm young. I only got like 30. What? I'm 37, right? So I probably got like 30 years of my life left, if lucky, maybe more, hopefully, right? But I already lived half of it, and it went by quick. So, you know, I want to fucking live my best life for the rest of these next 30 years. I ain't 18 no more. I'm trying to live my life. I'm trying to be like the music videos and all that shit. I am like the music videos and all that shit.
You are.
You know, so like that, and that's another thing. And I want to say that out there because a lot of people mistaken my talk sometimes for big headedness, but this goes for everybody out there. You, as long as you believe in it and you believe in yourself and you believe to be that, that's what you're gonna be.
Right.
You're gonna be that fire. You just gotta tell yourself, yo, I'm the shit, and it's okay saying I'm the shit, you know, because you're saying that about yourself. It's not like you're riding somebody else's dick. You're saying I'm the shit, you know. And if you believe in yourself, other people believe in you, and then they start believing in themselves too, and then they believe in themselves, and that's good because that's how you spread that energy. You know, because I might be whatever I am, but I still tell people like this is for everybody. This ain't for this doesn't take a genius to do.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying? It just takes to just fucking say, I want this, I want it, this is how I want it, and I'm getting it that way. Point blank, period. You know? And when I came up on that era where it was like, it was all about clothes, money, and hoes, you know. So that's what the life was about. Hence why I'm a Littty bro.
That's fantastic.
You know, so I'm a Littty bro because of that. It has nothing to do with me and Dutch knowing each other, poly hustle, whatever, or having a relationship or whatever of all that shit. It has to do with the fact that, you know, we lit. And we stay on that shit. And that's what we're about. We're about living our best lives and being able to make ourselves happy and satisfied. It doesn't matter. You know, I'm fucking lit. I'm lit here on my acreage, and fucking Dutch is lit as fuck in the Bronx right now. And that's Littty Bros. Because we do what we want, how we want it. And we live our lives the best to the way we want it. And that's what we were in it for. We grew up believing that it was about us feeling lit and not to show off for the world, because we don't give a fuck about showing off for anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, we show off for ourselves.
I'm doing this shit for me. I'm looking good for me.
I look good for me. I want to look in the mirror and be like, damn, he's sick. I don't need nobody else. Yo, I don't need your pussy. I'm on my own dick.
You heard? Shouts to Kanye. Kanye.
And that's why I'm a Littty bro. That's the reason why I'm a Littty bro. It's not because of connection or whatever. All that too. But the first reason,
that too, but like...
the first reason is because we're literally lit. We're literally lit.
Nah, it is that. It is that.
I get what you're saying. I hear you. And then like, you also got to be useful.
They made me a Littty bro before I was a Littty bro.
Yo, for real.
Go back to Volume 1. They say it. Poly hustle, he's a Littty bro.
Facts. I went and found that song. I was listening to that the other day because it played in my head. I was like, Poly hustle, he's a Littty bro.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of the fucking woods being a Littty bro. You know, and it's just like, I'm not there, but that's the automatic presence. It's like, yo, if we're gonna go lit, it's like, of course I'm part of the gang. And it's just it's like shout outs to Amzilla on the battle rap game, like Fresh Fungus. Like, I'm fucking Fresh Fungus all day. You know what I mean? Like, that's family. It's just there's certain things that it's like an automatic entry. You're like, yeah. You're not even an honorable member. You are a member.
Well, you know what? To be specific though, right? Like, you participated in all the albums, even the album that you didn't care for much, right?
I like to though. I'm not even gonna lie.
I like that you say that. That's what's supposed to happen.
Yo, man, that review song, like, no fucking lie. Even if I never met Flacko one time in my life, that's a song I really like. Like, it's very rare I feel that way about a song because I do album reviews, so everything's kind of whatever. You just listen to shit. It's almost digestible. That review song's fucking hit me hard.
Yeah, that's what I like. I like that it has something for everybody.
Yeah, but so, you know, you've been involved with every single project, like Paulie's. Like everything that everybody heard was like pretty much with like his approval. Like if he didn't like a track, it was like, oh well, we're gonna scrap that shit. You know what I mean? Or like, we're gonna retweak that shit. You know what I'm saying? And if he wasn't giving his stamp of approval, we wasn't putting it on the. So like everything you heard on Volume 1 was with his approval, and Volume 2 as well. Regardless of him not being a fan of it. And then Volume 3, you know, he's gonna be all over sonically, vocally, all over the whole entire album because he contributed every single drop of energy to it. Like he had me like writing like I was a fucking a rookie freshman rapper and shit, and like had me in training camp and like was making me like repeat my fucking verses and shit and memorize my bars before I even got to the studio. And like he just was making like, you know what? No, take that out. I don't like that. He was making me curse less, repeat myself less. So like sometimes like, you know, the thing to be like learned from that, right, is like you can contribute a lot musically without like sometimes contributing like a piece of a vocal to anything. You know what I mean?
Bro,
like
Polly's the Littty coach.
Littty coach.
No, more or less. Like,
I'm
the Rick Rubin of the Littty Bros.
The big, like the decision-making producer. Like not like the guy that like when people hear producer, like the real deal producer.
I don't only listen to the music. I make you listen to yourself and question yourself. I tell you you're ugly. You know, I tell you like no, and I'll just be like, I don't give a fuck about this and that. Like, let's look at it from a 10-year-old perspective. You know, like I do it in all angles. So I would say I am the Rick Rubin of Littty Bros. And it's just the beginning. I know it's just the beginning.
Yeah, it's just the beginning. We're just getting to 3, and like we have like so many plans for 4 or 5. And
it's like Hot 97 Volume 1. That shit wasn't popping until like Volume 17, 16. That's when it really like was like. We're talking about like the old discs the Haitians used to sell on the corner, you know. So it's like these volumes to come and shit. Like I know it's more than just. It's like a staple. It's Ralph. You know, like I'm pretty sure in like 20 years there's gonna be Littty Bros that are not gonna be us. You know, they're gonna be totally different.
It's gonna be children.
You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna be just a whole. And that's what Littty Bros is. It's forever. That's my part in it. My part in it is to see it grow from what it is now to a couple volumes in that it's the future. And the future being that it's like, yo, it's like the old sound bombing CDs, but better. You know what I'm saying? Like way better. And that's what eventually it's gonna turn into, where, you know, this person will be a Littty Bro for these volumes. You know what I'm saying? Like shit like that. It's gonna grow.
Like a super group with a changing cast.
It will change over the years. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We're gonna want, knowing me and Dutch, in a couple years, we're gonna want some hot 21-year-old to be the Littty Bro. And he's the Littty Bro now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we're gonna want.
My nephew.
If we don't want that, we're idiots. Like
yeah, exactly. I want my nephew to be a Littty Bro.
What we're building here is not for, at least for me, it's not for now. It's for the future. You know what I'm saying? Because
big fact.
At the rate we're going with independent acts, motherfuckers could sell 1,000 copies and feed their family. You know what I'm saying? So if you do business right, you know, how do you think a lot of these artists that we grew up with, you know, are able to feed their families? You know what I mean? And it's because, you know, you just got to do business right, you know? But I feel like in the future, we're going to be, as Littty Bros is going to be big. It's going to be a whole staple. It's going to be a whole outlet.
That's wild.
You know, and that's what it's for. It's also for the future. Like we Littty now, of course, we Littty now because we're the only ones responsible enough to do it, and we do it the best. But someday there's gonna be other people who, you know, who are gonna have to come up, and we're gonna have to make them Littty. You know, maybe the first volume they're in, they're only on 25% of it, and the next one is 50, and then it's 100, and you know, so go on. So you never know. We don't know. We're having fun. I'll tell you that much.
Word. I'm having the
It's
time of my
wild to
life.
hear your side of it too, right?
Being a Littty, bro, I'll tell you, being a Littty, bro, I had the time of my life.
I love it. I mean, I've heard
it's not even like, don't let it fool you. It's not even on steroids, but I'm having a time of my life because that's how much we love ourselves. We love ourselves that fucking much that we're like, being a Littty, bro, I feel like a superstar, yo. I don't give a fuck if 5 people listen to it, 1,000, I feel like the man.
Facts. Yo, I wish that we could play the sample. We could like right there be like, I had the time of my life. You know what I'm saying?
I'll take
you know what we could do is we could just get you.
Gotta do the running catch.
Love it. Love it. But yeah, like I've heard Flacco's side of the Littty Bros thing a whole lot. Like I heard a whole lot about the Littty Bros. But the way you describe it is mad concise. It is like wildly like, okay, I see what Flacco, because Flacco described you a lot about you're like this figure that I've heard a lot about for the last year and a half or so that I didn't know really anything about except for your Facebook posts, which are out there. But respect. And man, the way you describe the Littty Bros though, it's like, okay, I see like your passion for it at a level where it's like, well, it's like everything Flacco says, but a lot more concise.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we fuck with each other.
Say a lot of words.
But like, it's really cool. And it's a great like ethos at the end of the day. And it really, ultimately, it's what the self-help books say you're supposed to do. Like you guys are just spinning it in a much more fun way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're doing it great. Flacco has come a long motherfucking way. Like I'm talking about a long way, and I've been there half of that journey. And you know, the half I seen, I enjoy. And like we said, like we're like as much as we're brothers, we're still learning shit about each other because like when we meet up with each other, it's to aspire. So you know, there's really, even though we're aspiring, and that's personal because it's our personal goals and dreams. You know, we don't sit down and say, hey, this and this and that, no. You know, but because we're too busy aspiring each other to just, you know, do what we do, and it's like very fun time. Like I said, it's very fun times. It's really I enjoy myself. I have a good time doing it, and this next volume, I promise everyone they're really gonna enjoy it. I promise everyone they're gonna enjoy it. Like I know for a fact. You know, this one is like this one is the gonna be. It's like the ring. It's ring number 3. You know, it's the third ring. It's the third Jordan ring. You know, and he has 6 rings, I believe. So we're gonna do Tom Brady. We're gonna go over that. But it's the third Jordan ring. And that third Jordan ring is perfect because you know after that 3, he went on that little break, and then he came back and he did the 3-peat. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's that next 3, volume 4. I could put volume 4 out 5 years from now. It's still gonna be hot.
Facts.
I believe it. I mean, what I heard of volume 3 is Littty, and I don't know. Like, I think y'all are onto something because, like, at the end of the day, success in music, from what I see, is a lot more attached to lifestyle branding than it is the actual music. And if the lifestyle branding matches the music, people fucks with that shit and want to ride the wave. And y'all are putting out a wave that's, I like the wave.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, luckily I got Dutch there to handle all that other shit, but like I'm having fun. This shit's fun for me, you know?
Yeah.
I plan on keeping it that way because that's better for me. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm a logistics guy.
Because once again, I'm retired. So like if I don't have fun, I'm going back into the cave, you know?
That's amazing. You make retirement look sexy is all I'm saying.
Yo, tell us a little bit about that, right? Like you got to like let's get to your dream, right? Like you got to bear fruition to your dream, right? What's this dream? Where is that deer behind you a part of it?
Oh yeah, of course. So for fucking basically when I was a kid, I always wanted, my grandmother, she always had a place upstate, and we always used to go visit her, and my grandfather would hunt and do all this. So I always felt like best on the mountain. Like it was a place that I didn't have to worry or stress about nothing. I come from, poor income family. I come from abusive family, with that. So it was constantly like fighting going on and all this bullshit drama going on, lights going out type shit. So when I went to the woods, I didn't have to worry about none of that shit that fucked me up. That kind of pulled me back and made me sad, and it made me happy. So my whole entire life, I aimed for getting a place in the middle of the woods, being able. It's like Big Zoo taught me, right? The first time I ever viewed Big Zoo, I was like, so what is it all about? I was like, we got all this, we're doing this. What's the end result? And he's like, you know what the end result is? And he'll like, trust me, you'll understand it one day if you decide to do it. His exact words is, when I'm done at the end of the day and I drive home and I drive out the city and then I got to drive up my big driveway and nobody's around and nobody's fucking me. I got my family and got my peace there. That's what it's all about. So, when I heard that, when I heard him say that on the first time I interviewed him, that's when I was like, yo, this is definitely my goal. And I stick to that all the time. When I leave the city and I'm taking that drive, I'm taking that drive back home, I think of Zoo and I think about what he said. And he was like, that's what it's all about for me, that I have that comfortability, and that shit hit home, And if you know Zoo personally, you know that he's a very private person. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
he appreciates having that both worlds and both setups. When we were in a studio on Mad Max and he was there, when too many people came in the room, he gone, he out. He didn't know you, he doing whatever. He didn't have no time to stay there. He always made wise decisions and shit like that. So that was a big influence for me. So yeah, I moved to the middle of the woods, and I learned how to live off the land. I learned how to grow my own food. I learned how to raise my own food. I learned how to hunt my own food, fish my own food. Right now I'm not eating as much meat because it's vegetable season, like fish season and everything. And come hunting season, I eat meat. I raise my chickens, and I love it, bro. It's dope. But I'm still lit, though. You know what I'm saying? But I love it.
That is lit. Everything you said was wild lit. What do you mean? That is
so what it comes down to is how we started this, right? So how we started the interview was like, Holden was like, so what did you do at the age of 12? I was like, sell crack. Like, so It's like, now it's like, I want to sell earth. Like, I want to sell earth. I want the same opportunity that when motherfuckers came over on a boat and came here and decided to settle here and take land and start farming and start, importing tobacco, whatever the fuck they did. It's like, I hustled everything. I've hustled crack, I've hustled sneakers, I've hustled music, I've hustled dreams, I've hustled souls. So, and therefore the next thing that I have to conquer is hustling earth. And that's what I'm doing right now, is I'm hustling the earth, which is like the ultimate hustle. Because when you can hustle earth and the trees and the soil and the dirt, and that shit just works itself, that's when you're the ultimate. That's when you don't need nothing else. I mean, I could sell Christmas trees come December. You know what I'm saying? I could pay my yearly mortgage, So it's just like, it's all about that. So that's what I'm doing in my life. I'm living freely, and I fucking want to conquer the American dream. And that's
I
what I'm
would
doing.
say
Lindell's in the comments and just said good choice.
Yeah, you be doing what like all those minimalist hipsters wish they would be doing.
Yeah, do it. Don't let this shit fool you, yo, because in the middle of the day I'm wearing like fucking, Carhartt and rusty ass clothes with sawdust all over me. And
don't even joke like that. Like, he be wearing wild exclusive. You be doing shit that there be some people that like I work with like that I'm like, yo, are you really working in some fucking Supreme and some fucking kiss. Like, yo, you
Yeah.
are offending me. Like, how dare you work in that? Like, I don't
Hunting
care if
polo.
you trash them. You know what I mean? And that's like, now it's your work clothes. Like, nah, don't do that. Like,
Now I work in now I've been hunting in polo clothes. I'm just been like, fuck it. It works out. It's mad casual, it's gentleman, and it goes with my pipe. And if it matches, then it's all me.
It's still dripping sofrito even when he's hunting. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I shot that deer right there with Air Force Ones on and Nike track sweatpants, the Nike track pants. You know what I mean? Like, I've done, like, my hunting gear. I do wear expensive clothes, but I switched over to polo, which is still decent price. But I like to do that shit fresh too. I can't get down with that country bumpkin shit. I just can't do it. You know?
That's amazing.
It's not me. You know, I live in the middle of the country, so I deal with a lot of shit. There's a lot of motherfucking rednecks out here. And I got a saying out here that they all don't bother me with. Because I'm very popular out here, of course. So, and my daughter just won the award for being the most influential and most whatever. They put her name in they engraved her name in front of the high school. I was at the ceremony yesterday. They're like, we're giving this award to the child who's this. They're describing all the shit. And I'm like, that's my child. Like, you're describing my daughter. Like, and they said her name and she won the award. So it's like, out here I have a saying. I was like, number one, you can't afford to be racist. And you're too ugly to be racist. You know, and it hurts their feelings, you know, when they get all rednecky on motherfuckers and shit. They be like, oh, yeah, shut the fuck up. You white trash. You can't afford to be racist. You ain't no difference from anybody who I grew up with. You trash. You trash. You're fat and you're ugly.
Can't afford to be racist.
How dare you speak of somebody's anything, culture, color, when you're literally trash. You can't afford to speak to someone like that. You know, and that's I tell them all the time, and their heart just drops. Their ears go down like a little dog. They're like, you just called me ugly. Like, yeah, you're fucking ugly. You can't be racist when you're that ugly. I mean, you shouldn't be racist at all. But I mean, this is bad. Like, I come from real racism. Maybe I should call it classism. You know, like, I don't know what I should call it, but I come from us like, don't put your hands on that. You know, watch the caveat. No, take off your hat. Like I said earlier, dress like this, dress like that. Not this backyard bullshit. These people are trash, bro. They can't afford it. I hate them with that. Their soul dies. They're just like, I'd be like, you ain't shit. I'd be like, bro, like, you're fucking trash. You got like trash everywhere. You're fat. You got stains on your overalls. Your wife is fat and nasty. I'll fight you for it. I don't care. You can't afford to be racist. You're too ugly to say. You're too ugly to say anything about anything.
Littty bros.
You're too ugly, dog. You can't even afford it. Like, put on some decent. Like, yo, there's decent brands out there for rednecks. Like, there's like expensive shit they could wear. You know, I'm talking like Kevin Costner, fucking Yellowstone, like sheepskin jackets and shit. You want to be like, no, you can't afford to look at me. You're too ugly to look at me and call me the N-word or to call me anything. And let it even bother me. How about that? So that's my journey in the woods.
I love it. That was an amazing story. That's the best way to put it. That's great.
No, because I feel like I'm dealing with real racism besides like I grew up in the city my whole entire life, and we grew up in the city and we know how to deal with like that. But this is different. This is real. Like, my children are like 1 out of 5 colored kids in the school. That's different. That's not like going to school in Brooklyn your whole entire life now. You know what I'm saying? That's totally different. So it's like, I've learned how to kill these motherfuckers to the point where they got no choice but to respect me. To the point that my daughter's name is engraved on the high school motherfucking wall. and my son's award ceremony tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna take some motherfucking cake. You know what I mean? And it's like you got to deal with my last name on that bitch. I broke the color barrel. My kids did, and we're there forever. I never had that opportunity in school growing up. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I mentioned it because I'm proud as hell. It's like it's a big fucking deal.
I mean, that's fucking amazing. Like, first of all, not many of us get our names engraved on shit like walls. That doesn't happen a lot. And you know that like your kid came through and is the coolest of all the kids, most influential kid. That's not simple shit. That's dope.
It seemed like they made the award just for her. I'm like, it was crazy. Like, it was crazy. But I'm proud, and I'm pretty sure my son's gonna take some academics home. You know, tomorrow and shit. I'm going to award ceremony. I'm pretty sure he's gonna get his name up there too. And to me, it's like I try to teach him, like, yo, it's a big fucking deal. We broke a barrier. You know, we came out here and we put on a stamp. And like I said, we're one out of 5 colored kids. So, you know, like these motherfuckers out here, it don't matter what color you are, you black.
Big facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how it is out here. And that's real. And this is New York. It's fucking New York. That's nothing. I remind people that they're from New York. I mean, you know you were born in New York, right? Like you were born in New York. Like
but don't tell them that because it's not the same thing, and you know we treat them different.
I understand that, but it's still fucking New York, bro. I take this shit personally. I love this state. I love the whole state.
Yeah.
If there's anybody that knows like the state, and I'll challenge anybody to this. If there's anybody who knows the state inside out, it's me. I'm talking about from the waterfalls to the rivers to the streams to the mountaintops to everywhere. I'll take you to the most beautiful places in the world that you think you're in Alaska or Montana out here. That's how dope
New York is beautiful.
That's how dope New York is. We are the dopest motherfucking spot in the United States of America, hands down.
Respect. I would love to see some of those places. Not even gonna lie, I fucks with nature.
There's a lot of beautiful nature in New York State. Like upstate is like, and where Paulie's
upstate is even closer to me.
Yeah, I'm by you. So where are you at?
I'm in Montreal.
Oh, you're on the other side.
Yeah.
Wait. You're not. Montreal's not by like Montana and shit, right?
No, Montreal's right by like the border. Like we're right by New York. Plattsburgh would be our closest thing.
Okay, so yeah, I'm like 2.5 hours from you.
Oh, say word. You're closer than like a lot of things in Canada.
Yeah, I'm mad close to you. I get to the border. I'll get to the border with that American mall, the big ass mall like Niagara Falls and all that shit. I get there in like 3.5 hours.
We're the other side, like more towards Quebec.
I'm more closer to your side, but I'll get there like 3.5 hours.
Right, so you're in the middle between there. Yeah, that's
exactly.
lit.
I'm in the middle. I'm dead in the middle. I'm where like Lake George, Lake Placid, all that shit. I'm in the Adirondacks, so I'm right. Like I border Canada. I could hike. I could take my ATV right now and drive to the border.
That's dope.
Don't do that though.
I have.
Oh, okay. Well, be careful.
I take my ATV and I drive to the border all the time.
Take enough gas. I don't want you getting stranded and shit.
Yeah, gas.
Being stranded is not really. I mean,
gas is crazy.
Being stranded could be
$5 right now. $5 a gallon right now.
Like, thinking about it, I'm like, I could turn being stranded into a Littty situation.
I was like, nah, being stranded is a story and a half. My whole life now is like, okay, I've interviewed a lot of people. What can I do to make my interview as full of dope stories as possible? So when I think about something, when you brought up skydiving, I'm like, nope, I could talk the fuck out of skydiving. That sounds like a lit thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, the key for me to always interviewing people and making them different is asking them a fucking question that nobody's gonna ask them. Like, yo, like real talk, like Holden, like real talk. Growing up as a kid, what was your favorite cereal?
That's a hard question. But real talk, probably like Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops? You fuck with the commercials and shit?
Yeah, all of that shit. All the little toucan sounds and all that hit me heavy.
You like Pop-Tarts, Eggles, or waffles?
Pop-Tarts. Absolutely.
Pop-Tarts. What kind of Pop-Tart?
The s'more ones.
Yo, s'mores is there. Now, did you toast it or did you eat it? Did you toast it or eat it raw?
So both, because sometimes you'd be mad like you need to grab that Pop-Tart now and you're an impatient motherfucker. But then you also have those moments where the patience kicks in. As well, I was just staring at Pop-Tarts in the store, debating if I should get them and chose not to. But like, as a kid, man, that was it.
There you have it. Those are great. And that's how you get a great interview. You know what I'm saying? Just like that, something that nobody would ever seem to be like, yo, that's interesting. Why would you like, yo? Because nobody knows. Like, I want to know. Like, I really, when I think of a rapper I'm interviewing, I want to know something that like I don't fucking hear about. Like, I want to know what fucking soap they use, even though it might be weird. But I want to know why. Because maybe I don't want to use that soap, or maybe they got something doper to show me. Or maybe I got something doper to show them. You know, so it's more about like. It's more about, for me, it's always about doing what we're doing now, being in depth, than just being about like, oh, so, you know.
Littty Bro Pax is in the comments and he said waffles.
Waffles
all day. Waffles all day.
But waffles ain't be up here like they are down there, right? Like, it's not like waffle culture be up here like that. It's like like to me, it's like you go to the States to go to the Waffle House, like, you know, like.
So for me to go to Waffle House, I gotta go like out the state, start getting into like DPA and start going to South, to start going to like the Waffle Houses and the Ratchets and shit. You know what I'm saying? But I'm more, like I said, I'm more of a French toast type of guy. You know, and I was more of an IHOP type of nigga. You know, so.
I never been to an IHOP one time. I don't even think that shit's up here, or if it is, it's not in Quebec.
I'll tell you, the quality is not the same no more. So half of the good shit we talking about ain't even worth eating. You're better off going to like a dope ass pancake house or something, you know?
Exactly.
I think one of the king of foodies right now, we could honestly do the award ceremony right now and give the main trophy over to fucking Flacko for being one of the king foodies, at least of the last 2 fucking years. At least.
Honestly, I got to experience that shit, right? Like, so it's
start
like
his own show with food.
Yo, you should start a lot of shows.
Little 15 minutes, like, God damn, this is lit.
Or like, yo, because check it, a touristic cultural guide, right? Like to eating in fucking New York City. Because if you're somebody like me, Matt, it's very hard to plan a trip in a place that has so many options that all say 4.5 to 5 stars with great raving reviews. It's not helpful to have so much choice. You just need a guy like Flacko who you're like, I fucks with him, and then he just walks you through the shit. That shit would pop because it's food.
You know what makes you dope, yo? What makes you dope is like you could speak about something and then you have like your own style of saying it, but you describe it so well that it's like, I respect and I enjoy what you're saying. And it's enlightening to hear you talk and to hear you carry out, you know, when you say, because you say things in paragraphs when you're really talking about something, you're like, pause, everybody shut up, let me speak. You don't have to say that. Your voice does that for you. And we just sit there and we listen to you and we're like, he sounds good. Like, sounds great. Yeah, and you know, once you start going, it's pleasing to hear it in definition. It's weird. It's hard to describe, but you know, you're gonna be a great host. You're gonna be a great host if you keep up with it. You know what I mean?
I'm kind of really into it. I just fell into it. I kind of was like, I don't know shit, and then I saw that was like people, kind of, and then I just started doing it, and people fucked with it, and then it just flowed really naturally, and then opportunities just came, and then bigger and bigger and more interesting names relative to my life appeared in my life, and now I got a whole ass reputation in the Montreal scene that's very much in my favor right now and is unlocking even more opportunities and doors. And it's like, wow, this is like, I'm not gonna stop this. I might have to pivot here and there. We're actually trying to evolve it to rather than just being a live experience like this, like find a fucking venue, charge like $30 a head and make these motherfuckers work to get that place full by splitting the bag or whatever, because like there has to be an evolution to it.
Yeah.
But it's wildly like I couldn't stop. Like the amount of shit I learned in every single one of these interviews, whether it's the most mundane person or the most interesting person, it's like, you know, reading an audio book right quick, a small one, but still like every time gives you all the shit to think about, and it's constant, like just constant. And I'm addicted a little bit.
My bad.
That's
I like that you said that.
That was my signal to like, I need a beer.
I'm with it.
I need a fucking beer. Now you guys are doing very, very good, and for me, that's a lot coming from me. Like I don't care where it comes from you, but coming from me, that's a lot. And I'm not saying that to kiss any ass and shit, because I could give a fuck less. But real talk, you know, it's really good. It's doing good. I like the way you guys both interact. I like being on here. It's been a minute because I don't do interviews no more at all. So I don't do nothing for nobody no more at all unless like I love you.
Facts.
If you hear me on a track, you hear me working on your music, it's because like we're good. We're like good in a level where it's like if I'm not doing music with you, I'm still gonna see you. We're still gonna talk. Maybe some, like at least with me and Dutch, like I said, like even if we weren't doing business with each other, we're always talking aspirations and always talking about goals and dreams and, you know, where we want to go and where we want to be in life. And we're always telling each other, I'm always telling him, you could do it. And he's always telling me, you could do it, you know, and that's our relationship.
That's a powerful thing to have.
There's
you know what I love about Dutch? My bad, I call him Dutch. I'm so sorry.
I'm so used to this though. You gotta understand. He's one of those guys where you can tell how somebody knows him by the name they use. Absolutely. Like I can't help it. It's Flacko for me because
it's something that needs to be corrected though on a business platform, I think, for everybody. Like when we're doing something like this, it has to be something where we train ourselves into to being like.
So I'm kind of like 50-50 on this particular platform because what you're going for is that you guys know each other since time feels, so that even though you know the name, and a lot of people who call him Dutch will correct themselves, but they can't help it. And there's such a charm to that it just works in the favor, at least in these experiences.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad thing, man. It's good.
But like in like the titling, the branding, the way everything's worded, it's always 2 T's, 3 Y's, you know, bro, it's proper. But like in conversation, 2 hours and change into some shit, like, nah, you Gucci.
Yeah. I mean, but what I love about, like I was gonna say, what I love about Flacko, all right, is I seen from the point, like I said, I came in his career at like his 10-year mark. Like literal at his 10-year mark, which the next 10 years have turned into this beautiful specimen that you see right here. You know, Flacco.
That's wild. I just hit my 10-year mark.
Yeah, so he's hitting his 20-year, but it's more like it's more greater than, it's more shorter than what it seems on the yearage. You know what I'm saying? Because I've seen him literally bust his ass from this to this. And we're not talking about in everything, and not only being Littty, we're talking about heart, spirit, all of it.
Yeah, I've been trying to improve as a human being my whole life.
You know what I'm saying? All of it. Because there's one thing, it's like you said, like, and everybody has, we're not here to speak about personal views because everybody has opposite views, but that's what makes us great. We have opposite views. Like everybody has opposite views and we're passionate about that. So we're like, you know, we don't have muzzles on our mouths. We don't like something or we don't whatever. We don't even give a fuck if our career is on the line at the end of the day. We don't give a fuck. We don't even give a fuck if the industry doesn't accept what we just said. We're going to say it anyway. And, you know, whether I say nay, he says yay, that's what makes us great is, you know, and I've seen him climb from the bottom and stay true to that personality and make it to the point where he's at today, where it's like, it's really dope. Because I know artists that haven't done that at all.
No, I think
You
he's
know,
such
I
an
know
inspirational
peers of
dude.
ours that haven't done that. Like they are artistically here, but they're still struggling within here.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like it takes more to being just that. You can't just struggle within of being an artist and beat yourself up or feel this. You have to beat yourself up higher. Not
Yeah, I feel
take yourself
that.
to the ground. You got to take yourself and lift yourself up and lift your soul up and like, be proud of who you are. Be proud of yourself. Be proud of every accomplishment. Be proud of every fucking ring. Be proud that we could be here and that we're healthy, all of us, and we're like chilling, smoking, drinking, talking. We could see each other. We could hear each other. Like all that shit is a blessing, man. We could all be really fucked up right now. And it's like the fact that I've seen him climb from here to there is really dope. That's like phenomenal to me because I don't have that many people that have done that. And those people who have done that to me, they're like legends and they're people I trust in this world. They're like really people, and it's just like it's not just trusting them with $1 million because like fuck all that. I don't have to be in a situation to trust them with $1 million. It's more or less I could trust them with my personality and my heart and my soul.
Those are big words right there.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is.
Nah, I mean I feel that.
And it's anyone who could deal with Dutch's diva ass and vice versa. And vice versa. It's each other.
I appreciate what you're saying.
Because we fucking divas too, nigga.
Yes.
You can make fun of me of using that word. I don't care.
Holden?
I'm
easy, Holden.
That's all right.
Holden was like, yes, that fast.
I mean, it's what it is. But I'm a diva too. I'm straight up. I mean, I'm not a diva around Flacko because sometimes you gotta recognize when to be the lesser diva. But in my own little domain, I get to be a diva.
Yeah, so we're doing it. We really been doing it,
bro.
It's been, when they came to me with the idea, I was just like, no. And they were like, yes. And I was like, no. And they were like, but come on. Just take it. I was just like, okay.
To be fair, we played
it was
some
peer pressure.
We played some beats and you heard some beats and you was like, And then the next time that you came, we had like a couple songs.
Commercial. It was a straight Dare commercial. They were like, here, smoke it. I was like, I don't want to smoke it. Like, it's good for you. Like, no, I don't want it. Like, I'll get you higher. Like, all right, fuck it, let me take a pull. And now I'm here.
That's amazing. Flacko is very effective with his peer pressuring.
See, everybody's getting to know each other. Look at that.
You're a very interesting guy, Mr. Poly Hustle. Truly, like, I don't know if we've talked to a lot of people that are so themselves about their life, and that is highly, like, respectable.
Thank you, bro.
You're everything young people want to be.
Thank you. I really appreciate that, yo. I really appreciate that. And like tomorrow, I'm probably gonna wake up in the morning, and I'm probably either gonna be on a boat, be on the mountain, or watch a movie, smoking weed, and chilling and drinking. But I'm gonna be doing something dope and something lit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you definitely are exactly what young people, especially right now, being able to buy a home. Like young people can't. Like there's like a nationwide knowledge that like young people are being boxed out of home ownership by being priced out, and like they're like wildly upset about it. But like these are people that are in your same age group. Like
Also,
that's what we're talking about.
Well, the problem is a lot of people are being boxed out due to rent. To buying. And let's take a second to get into this, because this is going to be informative for a lot of people. Because it's like, if there's something I ever want to do in the future, it probably would be like seminars. Like, I would love to teach people, how it is done, and it's done so easily. So it's like we work in a system with rent, But along with rent, you have your bills, but with rent comes, the non-liability. And we get sucked into not having that liability. And we don't realize that when we don't take that liability, you get what I'm saying? You pay for your life half the price of what you're paying now for ownership. But the only difference is you got to take responsibility to everything that has. And why not have responsibility? Because it's just going to teach you more business and make you be informative in something that in the United States that is never going to grow. It's only there once, is property. Like that's just like this like land. There's never going to be more land in our lifetime. It's what's there now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and therefore buy it now. And what I've done is I've been able to discipline myself financially and socially, which is the hardest thing for a human being to do. You get what I'm saying? To get my shit, what I would call get my shit together. Like, I'm going to teach y'all real quick because I don't want to take that much time on this topic, but just give me 5 minutes. I'm going to teach you how to get fly. All right? So this is how you get fly. All right? You got 90 days to get fly. So that means this is 90 days you ain't going to do nothing because you're going to reinvent yourself. You're going to be somebody new. And remember, people already know who you are, but now you're going to introduce yourself brand new to the world. So you're going to take 90 days to do nothing. Stay at home, concentrate, eat right, do some exercises, but buy some outfits that you ain't going to wear. So every week, buy yourself an outfit. You get what I'm saying? Do it for 90 days. You're going to have about, 12 weeks? So now by the time you get to the 12th week, you get to reinvent yourself. Now you fly. Now you're still going to buy an outfit every week. Now you're able to change your outfit every day. At the same time of buying an outfit every week, now starting to outweigh your wardrobe and you don't know what to fucking wear. And that's how you get fly. All you got to do is hibernate. You got to be like a bear, like be in the wilderness, be your nature, in your nature state. Go into hibernations real quick and focus on yourself, focus on you, and come back a new character. You come back a new character, and that's how I did it. I bought outfits for 12 weeks straight. A pair of sneakers, jeans, hat, everything, the whole fit. I didn't wear shit. I went home. I took my ass home. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to come out. Boom. Open up my studio, did Real Deal, Mad Fly, this and this and that. Boom, boom, boom. Every week I still bought an outfit. I'm able to, right now, even right now, I'm able to wear something brand new every fucking day for the next year. And mind you, I just told you I sold my collection. But that's just how it is because I set myself up with that system. So if I make $500, let's say I make $500, I want to at least have $200 to show for it. So whether I want to spurge $300 to pay my bills, I at least want to have $200 off that $500 check to show what I got for that check and make that a staple in my life. And I put that as a staple in my life. So when I look at it and I add to the next thing, I'm like, all right, this is my life. This is my success. This is what's making me obtain all of these things. And some people ain't materialistic, and it's not about being materialistic. It could be getting yourself a pair of sheets for your bed. It could be getting yourself some new socks. You know what I'm saying? But everything has to be done on control system. So when it comes to like property buying, right now, I think right now a lot of people could obtain property. They just got to save up. They got to do the whole clothing situation. They got to save up the whole knot because it's going to take about $50,000 to close, $50,000-$60,000 to close, and you'll be good. You'll be paying half of whatever you're paying. But that's like, financial advisory. But that's how you do the system. That's how you get lit. It's all discipline and all key and coordinating and planning.
That's facts. Yo, Polly, I don't know if you use TikTok, but if you just did that shit and gave minute-long tangents of this shit, bro, you'd be TikTok, like, rich.
I should. The problem is, dog, and I'm glad you mentioned that because, we are Littty bros. The problem is that, I'm enjoying my life so much. At the end of the day, it's like, I want to do this and I want to do that. And I'm just like, oh, let me go on that boat or climb that mountain and, sit back and smoke my pipe, add a couple beers and pure peace and I don't want to hear no sirens. I don't want to hear nothing. And it's hard, bro. It's hard for me anymore to keep pursuing something of my character, of who I am, you know what I'm saying, of the person I am, it's hard for me to pursue that person when I enjoy doing all this other shit much more, and I don't have to pursue it. So it's like, to me, it's a choice, and then the choice is like, the choice, of course I could get more money, you know, but it's like, I've been rich. Like, I've been rich as hell. I've done all that. I've been rich as hell. People fucking be like, "Oh, you're still rich," and it's just like, you know, I've been rich as hell. I have it all. Like I'm gonna be real talk. Real talk. I have it all. I have a catalog. Let me see. I gotta take off my glasses. I got 2 of my wives sitting right here. Yeah, I got 2 of my wives sitting right here. My other wife somewhere. But it's like, what am I doing tonight? You know what I'm saying? Like, I wake up in love every day. Like, I wake up in love every day. Like, you know what that is? That's insane.
You gotta love life, yo.
Yeah.
It's a blessing. Like, you here, you could have not been here, yo. You know what I'm saying? You gotta celebrate every day. Like, it's every day. And if it's trash and you hate it and you feel like it's bad, then every day is an opportunity to change that shit. Like, every fucking moment, every single breath is an opportunity for you to fucking change everything about your life. Like, you don't have to stay stuck in whatever situation you're in. If you feel like it's no bueno for you, like, hunker down. Same thing as the fashion shit. Same shit as getting fly. Hunker down, come up with a plan, and fucking execute that plan and get the fuck up out of there. And fucking change your circumstances, because life is just like, this is all that we know guaranteed. So, like, you got to take advantage of this shit while you got it. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I said. It's like, I only got, like, in 30 years, I'm going to be 67. Like, God knows if, like, from there, that's when you probably start counting down days and weeks. We don't know how that feels, because right now we still cocky and living. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, once again, it goes back to Littty Bros, you know, Volume 3, which is coming out July 4th. And it goes back to that, with me saying that, like, this shit, my part of the project is all fun and all, like, this is like real passion and real heart. It's all real joy. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, I'm very cocky in it when it comes to this being a good volume. And my bad, I changed the subject to plug us in, but I had to do it.
Nah, it's totally fine. You should plug it in. Littty Bros Volume 3 is gonna be a Littty experience.
Facts.
You heard some of it, Holden?
I did, yeah. I think, I don't know. Flacko was with me, play stuff. I'm like, you could have changed everything since then. But from when I saw the backlist, I'm like, no, some of this, like, I heard 1 or 2 of them. I'm like, this all sounds like shit I've heard, or at least a couple of them.
Actually, when we linked up with Holden was when me and Rye had just finished laying down Mami Ven Aquí. You know what I mean? So
I didn't want to say that because I couldn't remember how to say that one, but that was playing in my head while I was saying all that.
Yeah, it's a fun project. It's a very, very fun project, bro. It's very, very fun. But yeah, that's the problem. The problem is, like, I'm really, really enjoying my life, and I'm enjoying it. Excuse me, I'm enjoying it while, like, I have it. You know, because it's like, I'm here on the mountain. I'm a wild boy. You know, I don't take nothing for granted. You know, and God knows. You know, you fucking living today, you're here tomorrow. And shit.
Exactly.
And a motherfucker like me, you know, a young motherfucker like me, I gotta worry about, like, higher ups and shit and government and shit. So it's like, you know, I gotta enjoy this shit while it lasts. You know?
Man, you're a whole vibe.
Whole ass vibe. Whole ass Littty ass vibe.
We lit, bro. We fucking lit. We Littty, bro. We Littty, bro. Shouts to Jess James.
Word. Shouts to Jess James.
Shout out to Jess James.
Yeah, I spoke to him recently. It was cool.
Word.
Spoke to him on my birthday.
I just saw him the other day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. That's good.
Fair.
That's real fucking good. That's real fucking good. That's real good. So I remember you coming to New York, Holden, right? And you had
yes.
You had a little experience, which is great. When are you planning on coming back to NY?
I don't know exactly yet, but I'm putting money away.
Do you like rap, or like what is it like? How, are you a hip hop enthusiast, or what is it?
I rap
Oh,
myself.
you rap.
Yeah, I got into rap in 2012. Well, I started, my first show was in 2012. And I just, like, before that, dibbled and dabbled, because I came in the era where you could do it at home for a lot cheaper and then put it on SoundCloud and Reverb Nation and shit. So like Reverb Nation charts were still a conversation when I started doing this shit. And then I just kept going. And then between 2012 and let's say 2016, I got to perform a lot and do a whole bunch of shit in Montreal. Nothing good business, all the not good business, more the, like, if you're looking at it from like you're actually doing the business right. I'm just a hobbyist with an ego. So I did that shit for a while. Then I realized I didn't know a lot about hip hop properly. I was just rapping. So we actually took, like, a couple of months. What am I gonna do with myself? Because how it wasn't going anywhere, and I was about to hit like my 30s and shit. So I had to like rethink life. So we started doing album reviews in like a way to openly learn about hip hop. I mean, go through like track by track, discuss thoughts and opinions on every song. It was really bad in 2017. It was super white. And then the YouTube comments before the censors came taught us a lot about, we didn't want those comments anymore. And we started educating. And then I started reading a lot of books and shit. But so simultaneously, I still do the music. Like, I've been performing like crazy lately. Well, crazy, but like as far as the low tier of the local scene goes, I've been doing pretty well in the last 2022 rush. But it's all because of these interviews and shit. So the album reviews was going for a minute, and then I pivoted to interviews because I realized networking mattered, and I figured this would be a great way to increase my Rolodex of people. And then you got to walk into a room being able to offer something. So, let me interview you is a good sentence.
Of course. You sound like me when I was younger. Let me ask you a question, since you were asking me questions and shit.
Go for it.
So, what's the end result? What is it all for? What is the end result for you, where you're like, what are you out there for? What are you doing?
Okay, you know how A$AP Rock, or I guess in your case, is kind of like out there and just kind of makes his music and does his thing, has his life the way he wants it. But if I can do that in a city, that's the end result. But like all this, but because I like the city a lot and I love being part of the scene, but I just want the sustainability of creating and being able to do whatever creations I want, not following whatever patterns, but like I want to be able to be in a place where I could have these ideas and then hire the session people and just do the grandiose shit and make some fucking Kendrick Lamar layered shit.
So is this this is artistry for you?
Absolutely. It's like I want a wiki page that's lit. I want my wiki page to be lit when I die.
Got you. And you don't mind if that doesn't come with a check or not?
I would prefer it comes with a check, but I've lost a lot of money so far and I'm down to lose a lot more.
There you go. I mean, there you go. It is what it, it is what it is. I like your answers, kid. I like your answers. I'm gonna take my little bathroom break, and I want to keep talking when I get back, if you don't mind.
No worries, we good.
Feel free. Yep. I definitely had to use the bathroom. I was like,
I'm gonna go at the same time then. I will be back.
Drink like 3 cups. Go. Everybody go. I'll entertain the crowd. Don't worry about it. That's what the fuck I'm here for. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's keep things going, keep the vibes right. You know what I'm saying? It's Littty at all times. this is a good conversation. I like good conversation. You know what I'm saying? And glad everybody here gets to know fucking Paulie Hustle a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah, for real. I'm pretty sure. To the people who are watching this part, right? Like, because I'm like gonna be insistent that we don't cut this out. Push packs, Littty Bro packs, PVX just commented and said, "Loving this, I'm here for it." And I was about to tell him, I'm pretty sure he got to use the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's up. Like, it hurt not to. I drink wild water. I drink like 3 cups of fucking water over here. I'll fucking bug the fuck out. I was like, eventually my bladder was fucking bursting. I was like, yo, this is it. This is all I got inside me. This is how much weight I have inside me. You know what I'm saying? And then however long I was gone, let me tell you something. That was a strong stream, yo. That was a strong stream. Is this like inappropriate? I feel like it probably is, like by old standards, but like I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I think it's like educational, right? Holden's back first. If it was a race, he won or he lost. One of the two. We're not sure.
I'm not sure either.
Me neither. Because we don't know, you know? I don't know if that's like a good thing. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. You know what I mean? A doctor might be like, yo, he, for like the amount of time that he was, how much liquids he consumed, he should have been in the bathroom longer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. You know?
All I know is I spend more time in the bathroom peeing as I get older. And I just imagine it gets worse.
Word. I mean, listen, you know, I don't mind. I'm like, yo, peeing is pretty. It's like taking a shit. I'm like, yo, it's like some of my favorite times. Taking a shower, it's another favorite time. You know what I mean? Like, this is where I come up with. This is where I come up with a lot of my best ideas. Period, across the board. Definitely, some of my best songs have come out either on the shitter or in the shower. Absolutely.
Shower song ideas, man. Especially like, you know, like if you're hot, like a wake up shower before like your brain's fully there, just enjoying it. The water's hitting you, just flows.
Water's hitting. But talk that shower talk, Holden.
Nah, fucks with the shower heavy, and the acoustics are just always fun.
Acoustics, facts.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of shower music, is because it's like one of the only times where, like, yo, I listen to music for interviews and I listen to music for album reviews, and that eats up a huge chunk of my music listening time. So like the shower is one of those places where like it's just fun, and it's got to be some degree of sing along, because otherwise what are you doing in the shower, you know? Like
Facts.
So, and usually it's the most turn up shit too, at least these days. But
I got a playlist of beats that I want to work on, and I let that play when I'm in the shower. And I put it on shuffle. Oh my God! You seen the outfit change? The flags. I'm so
I gotta get more comfortable.
I think you might be the first person to do the outfit change on camera.
Facts.
In our, and it's fucked up because I've done 2 interviews and I didn't do that in either. You know what I did do in my interview that nobody's done? I popped a bottle of champagne.
You know what you also did? You brought us to another country or another territory thing, exotic location that was interesting and not Florida or something.
Facts.
Yeah. I had to do. I went to the bathroom and I was like, I was wearing a long sleeve. It was kind of tight. I was like, yo, let me just put on something a little bit more comfortable, but that's fly. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, let me just throw on the bucket because my hair, I got long hair and shit, and I wasn't gonna get my hair did, even though I was, but I couldn't. Cause
still dripping.
Everything
Nah, I
about
mean,
that's fire. It
well
leaves on
pulled
my
together.
I think all three of us is like long hair gang in it, right? We like
yeah.
Yeah.
we all fucking
We
pretty.
all know. We all know the woes of having long hair and keeping it, and like, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Maintaining.
it's not fun.
Yo, I
Especially
don't like it. I was about to cut my shit and I'd be like, nah. You're like, you're a masterpiece. Don't do it. You know? Like,
Yeah, yo, I feel like I can't cut it now. Like I feel like I'm like painting myself in a corner, you know?
I'm too sexy with it. It's just like, yo, I can't do it as much as I want to because I just don't want the inconvenience. And it's just like, because I know I don't look fly without it, but like with it,
Yeah. I know. I know how I look without it.
it's harder to have it than it is to not have it.
right.
So
like it takes a lot of time to grow hair.
So and therefore it's like I'm not sacrificing everything I put into it just because I'm uncomfortable because I feel like a bitch today.
Yeah,
that's how I
like
feel about my
why?
beard every day of the week. Like I have to like sometimes really have that conversation with myself.
You know what though? You know, like this is the life that you chose. You know what I mean? Like
that's what it's all about. It's about being.
You're gonna be all right.
It's about being fucking Littty.
You know. With it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's just I've spent a lot of time talking to Flacko in the last while, but that Littty vibe makes a lot of sense to me. And in a sense, it's like a counter to that whiny wanker shit that a lot of people have as their predominant philosophy, where it's just like complaining and what is wrong. But being Littty requires problem solving and like accomplishing. So it's like a really proper energy, in my opinion, in my exposure to it.
I mean, you know, you're Littty too, right? You know that, right?
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah. Holden is Littty, bro. Holden is a Littty. Holden is a Littty, bro. Holden is a Littty, bro. Holding is a Littty, bro. Telling you.
But
you know that, right? If you don't know that, you gotta go.
He does.
I know that. But it's like
he said it in the last album review. Like I've been told I'm a Littty bro myself.
Like you gotta you do speak. You're very humble. You're very humble, but you do speak confident. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And the confidence for you to speak that way, you know, you might not see it yourself, but it's a cockiness, which is great. It's Littty.
You know? It's definitely practiced.
You know? Hey, you gotta do it one way or the other, right?
I mean, it used to just be we're cocky, and I had to figure out how to be a little more humble with it because it's not that good to be cocky. I mean, there's a level of cocky that's fun. And even to that point about ego, like I had to explain to people like, yo, I'm in like the public. I kind of need to have some ego here. Like I can't just be sitting there with no ego looking weak in public and shit. You can't. It's not how it works. But like,
how are you going to be the best if you don't think you're the best?
Facts. And then, but I had to like, yo, because wildly there's like this brainwashing out there that like you shouldn't have an ego. And you shouldn't believe in yourself and shit. I'm like, I don't know if I agree with that line of reasoning because it has not helped me to ever follow.
That's what Paulie was.
This is it. Don't let nobody stop you from love. Now we're in the age. Listen, yo, shout outs to everybody, every fucking culture, every whatever you want to be. I support freedom. You want to do this with your life, you do it. You want to live this way, you do it. As long as you're happy, that's what matters. That's what matters for me. I'm so passionate. I'll die for each and every single person's freedom. I'll die for the person's freedom that doesn't agree with the next person, just because we have a choice.
That may be the most American thing I've heard somebody say on this show.
We have a choice. You know what I'm saying? Like we have a choice, and it's for everyone. It's not just for whatever. It's so there is a yin and a yang, and there is a positive and negative. You feel me? But for one to not admire themselves and to let anybody else say that they can't admire themselves is probably a big problem that we're having. Being humble is this, okay? To me, I could be the cocky motherfucker in the world, but being humble is saying how Zoo taught me about driving up the driveway. Being humble is how like saying, you know, Penn was my boss. Being
Yeah,
humble.
no, you were humble the whole interview. You were giving wild flowers to wild people.
It's being admirable to motherfuckers that are just as dope and as beautiful as you are.
Mm.
And that's what being humble is. It's real, recognized real.
Yep.
It's like, yo, we don't have to float the same boat, but you're fucking dope. And I know why you're dope. Why I keep going back to how you sound good. You know, if you did a research on me or watched like my Real Deal documentary, you understand that like me telling you,
not watch the documentary, but now I'm gonna keep it.
Me telling you you're a good you're a good host is a real thing. I've been telling Flacko to do a show for fucking years. Okay. Me telling you you're a good host is a good thing, and you gotta you should stick to that because Dutch would tell me and he would tell me and I'd be like, I'll look at him. I'll be like, get to this volume. Get to the volume you're at now. And I'll respect. Get to the volume 50s. Get to the whatever. Because once you don't make it past volume 13 or you have issues, I told him that in the beginning. That's when this show ain't gonna be nothing. Right. But you guys broke that barrier, and that means you're gonna keep going. You're gonna have many volumes until you keep going and you're doing things. But self-love is for everybody out there. Self-love is a big thing, yo. And it's true. You gotta love yourself. I wake up every day and I believe in who I am. I believe in Paulie Hustle. Like I wake up, I want to be the people that I saw and I saw do their thing. I want to be just like that. So, I make sure my life is just like that. And that's where my humbleness and my admiration comes from. But my cockiness comes from straight passion that I'm going to be this fire and I'm going to be that dope. Because I am that dope. I'm out here looking like motherfucking Johnny Depp and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Nigga on. You know what I'm saying? Like, we doing it up.
I love it. I mean, that's why this is fun stuff. I mean, like I said, like even as you're saying all this is that type of like Gary V shit, except without the Gary V nonsense. It's just like the essence of it, like the good shit.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I like what y'all doing. I'm glad I had like dope conversations with y'all, and fucking
pleasure was ours.
Fucking Littty bros to the end. What else I want to say? I had a brain fart because I started thinking about my wives because I want to shout out my wives.
Yeah.
Shout out to my wives because if it wasn't for my wives, everybody knows that. I mean, if you know me for what you know me, really, that stamp, it's my wives. And it's like, it's more than just a dream, a legend, a myth. It's more than that. It's teamwork. And I consider ourselves the Chicago Bulls. And from Jordan to Pippen to Rodman to, the whole mix. And we stay winning those championships. And without them, I wouldn't really be as lit either. You know what I'm saying? So behind this great man is amazing women, and it's, they know who they are. It's my 4 wives. Shout out to them.
Yes, Lindell, it's 3 wives. I know.
It's
Lindell's 4. 4 wives.
4. Yeah.
Shit.
The interview that you were watching is an old interview.
Old interview. So now there's more wives.
There was always a 4th. It's just it was always rusty. But I got a solid. I got a solid. I got the solid compass. I got the north, east, west, and south. I got the whole coven. It's a blessing.
Right.
It's a mixture of forces of fucking nature. Like talk about dog. If you guys have 1 woman, think about 4. All right, it's not. It's very interesting.
I believe that.
Yeah. I don't want anybody out here to think that it's easy or it's something that, like I said, Chicago Bulls, baby. You know what I mean? This shit is teamwork. It's like, this is not it's not a fantasy. It's not whatever. This shit's like a straight family. This shit's real. You know what I mean? It's a whole coalition. It's like Wu-Tang, but better.
You ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere by yourself in this world. You know what I mean? Like you're only getting but so far by yourself. You know?
That cracked me the fuck up. It's like
more
Wu-Tang,
that you line up with others,
but better. I mean,
yo, my wives are the hardest niggas I know, yo.
I believe that.
You know, some of my wives been with me since like day one. Some of my wives outdone my niggas.
Yo, one of your wives is a member of the group.
Yeah. Shout out to Lady Hustle, Lady Bro Lady, and everything. And you're gonna be hearing a lot from her soon. And she's really dope. And she did Real Deal Women, which was just as dope as Real Deal Radio, but for women. Let's not forget about that.
Nah, that show was, they used to be popping.
Yeah. You know, majority of the females you probably interviewed already, Lady interviewed. You know, so it's like that show was popping for Lady. So she's a big staple also. But shout outs to her. You know, she's also the mother of one of my children, and he's an amazing person that we created as well. So definitely want to give her shout outs for that. So it's more than just a relationship. It's like I said, it's Chicago Bulls, baby.
I feel that.
But we're going past Brady.
I meant that. But I appreciate you, Poly Hustle. You came through with a wildly interesting interview that I don't know, anybody watches is gonna benefit from. That's how I look at it. Like sometimes you just feel like the value that got added to people's lives from a conversation like this. And this, it's always the guest, right? Like if that person is mad interesting and has a life that they can share some shit, we all be learning like that because we always hear, you know. So like you made that like dope, like really shared some gems with us. And like you're just so different than most people's aspirations in life. So it's like just not the same as what most people end up at on top of that. So wildly cool to see that you exist and you're happy.
Good looks, yo. I really fucking appreciate it. You know?
Yo, I can't say enough. You know how much I love you. I'm gonna tell you right now that like I wouldn't have been able to get this far without you. You know what I mean? Like you've been fucking fantastic. It's been great fucking working and playing and having fun and fighting and arguing. And it's been wild fun, yo. Thank you.
I need to get y'all niggas on the mountain, bro.
Nah, I'm coming. He's talking to me, Holden. He's talking to
I was trying to get myself on the mountain.
Like this is brother shit now, and he's he's offended.
I'm talking to yo, Dutch. It's not.
You put an S, so I'm gonna just say I shot my shot. Okay, like what am I supposed to do?
Even everybody watching that interview that like know me, and even if we know each other on the hip hop level, or like know each other on the hip hop level on that love, like come to the fucking mountain, yo. Let me take you. Be a wild boy. Let's blow some shit up. Let's fucking hit the motherfucking waters. Let's do some wild shit that we weren't able to do in the city. You know what I'm saying? And let's be some fucking wild boys. Let's get lit. Let's get fucking lit. Let's do this fucking Paulie Hustle, aka Bam Majera, fucking 22. You know what I'm saying?
We're definitely going fucking skydiving next year.
No, we're doing the skydiving. Holden, you better do the skydiving.
No, I'm with it. I mean, yo, you can. If I said that shit on camera, it's like, man, I can't go back on that deal. Now. That's my entire like reputation.
I already got the spot, so we're good.
Say no more.
We're good. So it's like, you know, fucking nice air zone, nice whatever.
See, I want to hold myself like that.
And then afterwards, we'll go to a nice speakeasy in the middle of the woods, and we'll have fucking We'll have like a selection of oysters and shit. We'll fucking treat Dutch.
Oh shit, oysters! Now you're talking my talk. Holden doesn't fucking eat seafood, bro. So
Yo,
he fucking
in the middle of the woods on the like where we're gonna skydive at. In the middle of the woods, New Jersey, it's on like the line. There's a speakeasy that only opens up like once in a blue, but it's fine dining. Like it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. It's full of all types of culture too. So it's just like you never knew it was in there, but the oysters is what you go there for, dog. It's like they have a selection of at least like 6 different types of oysters.
Well, we're not gonna let Holden hold us back from some fucking oysters. Okay?
You guys can have all the oysters you want.
They're gonna have to have some. Hopefully, they got some French fries or something for the boy. You know what I mean? How
do you eat? What's your diet like, Holden? What's your diet like?
A lot more chicken and hamburger, whatever, that kind of vibe.
All right, so you're gonna have a banging ass filet mignon hamburger, nigga.
I'm with it.
All right. Ain't gonna be that regular beef. It's gonna be filet mignon.
I'm with it. Listen, I'm with it, Mr. Poly Hustle. Oysters are harder to sell because that shit just in my mind does not look appetizing at all. But
I
learned how to eat whatever. I learned how to eat whatever because when I'm in a whatever situation, I get the respect from whatever. So it's just like they hand it to me, a man about it, and I've learned to eat because I just show respect to everything and every culture. So, and plus I was raised that if you didn't eat your food, that's all you had, you get your ass whipped too. So
yeah,
that's fair.
Big fact.
I probably should do that. Man, it doesn't make oyster. I mean, I ate goat brains in Pakistan though. So the one time
if you ate goat brains, then you're bugging because oysters are not that bad. Like if anything,
I don't know, to be fair, goat brain was not that bad. Like you ate the goat brain and it was like it just tasted like generic ass meat.
I'm glad we got into this conversation, and I don't mean to take up your time that much. I'm so sorry.
No, but it's all good. This is fun.
Speaking about like diet and everything, I'm probably the one that could speak that I eat a lot of weird things. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, still to this day, I have to adjust to a lot of things that I'm consuming just because of not that they're not good, the thought of what it is, you know? And it's like, I have to beat the mental game of like, yo, this is what it is, but it does taste mad good and it's going to be good. Like I eat, like right now, my diet is, my meat-wise, my diet's been like chicken and rabbit, you know? And it's like farm-raised chicken and rabbit. And it's just like that. I farm myself. And it's just like rabbit now is like the new motherfucking everything. It's banging. Like,
yeah, big fact.
It tastes beautiful. But at first, the thought of it, I had to like really be like, yo, taste it. You know, and then now it's like I'd rather eat that than eat anything else. But there's a lot of other weird shit I had to eat that, you know, I had to tell myself like, yo, shut the fuck up, eat it. It's good. I'm still adjusting. I'm still adjusting to like Stingray.
Yo, we should drop a volume eventually that's called "Shut Up and Eat It."
I'm not even saying like I hear what you're saying. I feel like I could develop the discipline to eat the oysters. But like,
I'm telling you, son, by the time we get to the oysters, after you fucking jumped out of a plane, bro, you eat oysters at the place that there's oysters. You know what I mean? Like,
I hear what you're saying, bro. I hear you.
Once you get to the all level of littiness, that's when you're gonna like, and I'm gonna be real with that. When you get to the all level of littiness, that's when you're gonna eat it all. You're gonna be like, yo, serve me that shit. Because you can. And you're gonna enjoy the taste because it's your hard-on work behind that taste. You know what I'm saying?
Lindell in the comments
it's the fruits of your own nature. You know what I mean?
Lindell in the comments asked, have you ate any gator tail?
Oh yeah, I've ate gator tail.
Look at that.
Yo, I just finished eating gator. I just had some gator like maybe like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. I ate some gator, but I wound up getting some gator in Florida. I wanted to get some gator in Florida and coming back because I went to Florida. I did like a whole exhibition. That shit was insane.
That's a fact. You had a busy year.
Yeah. It's like I've just been traveling. I realized finally that I became like this action-packed guy, because I never knew I like was lately, and it's just like, holy shit! It's like you're action-packed. You're like, So I had to tell myself like, yo, you're really action packed, you know. So, but yeah, I've been moving on the move and shit. But
Do what the
Stingray,
fuck the heart desires.
Stingray. But y'all niggas need to come on some adventures with me, and
I'm gonna come.
And we be lit. You know what I'm saying? You only live once. You know what I mean?
Facts.
You only live once.
Facts.
I'm with it.
This is what we're doing. This is the way.
Yo, I think everyone. We just got to do everything. I want my niggas to. I just want to blow something up with you.
Nah, I know you do. I want to be there when you blow something up, and then I want to blow something up as well.
Exactly. That's why I said I want to blow something up with you.
Yeah, I already know what time it is.
I
told the wife. I told the wife literally that.
I'm trying to hit some trails.
Go shoot some shit with him, blow up some shit with him.
Trails with you in the whip and shit. I'm trying to be lit. Wild boy style. Like I'm trying to show you.
You want me to go to the mountains? I know.
Oh yeah.
It's okay. I already know what time.
This nigga's the one who made me buy my property.
Fact.
He made me buy my property. He was like, yo, you're gonna buy land, you need to buy it now. Buy that shit. I was like, okay. He's like, yo, trust me. He's like, this is how your layout's gonna be. You're gonna have everything you want. Do it. Even when I was like, yo, this is gonna be impossible to do. He's like, no. Keep going. You're gonna buy it. Every time when I thought it was, he told me to buy it, and I did. You know, so.
Facts. You got doubtful a couple of times, and I was definitely right there to be like, nah, you bugging. There's nothing to doubt. It's gonna happen. Mm-hmm. It's gonna happen. I know for a fact it's gonna happen.
Dutch's idea. He was like, yo, you need your own shit. He was like, it's about time you need your own shit. You got to do this because of this, because this is who you are, and that's what you got to do. And I did it. I used to spend hours in his house talking about it. I used to spend hours in his house. I would come visit him. I would be at Yankee Stadium because I had mad tickets and shit, and I would come see him. And when I get out of Yankee Stadium, come see that nigga with like some of my kids, and we'll just be
he wanted to walk his son through the projects and shit. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to make sure his son had that experience. And I was like, yeah, nah, no doubt. Let's do that. Let's walk your son through the hood.
That's what it is, bro. So yeah, we got that history, Holden. I'm glad I got to speak to you.
I'm glad I got to speak to you too, Probably Hustle. I've heard a whole lot about you. But one thing I can always say is Flacko always feels like his battery's recharged after he sees you.
Yo, that's how it should be for everybody, yo. Like, let me tell you something, and this goes for everybody out there. And that's why, like, Real Deal was dope. Real Deal Radio was dope. If it's anybody who believes in you, and if it's anybody that believes that you could be a star and be the best you, it's me, yo. Like, when I hear somebody, I don't give a fuck if you poor, famous, nobody. If you got something dope, I'm going to recognize you for it, and I'm going to look at you like you're a superstar. And that's how I get down. You get what I'm saying? So it's just that goes for everyone. Everybody's a god to me, bro. It's like if you got a talent and you got something and you do something dope, how could I not admire that? If I don't admire that, I'm not going to be dope. You know?
Big
I told you, being humble is this is the new statement. Being humble is admiration.
Yeah, I'm with that though, because it's hard
admiring, it's admiring those who carved that way for you and gave you that swag.
I'm with that. Like, and the more you do it, the more you just feel that confidence, because like you start to see the greatness in yourself when you see the greatness in others.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So yeah, before I go, I definitely want to give a shout out to Littty Bros. Want to give a shout out to Jess James. Definitely got to give a shout out to Sarah. Definitely got to give a shout out to the whole Grind Time East Coast. Got to give a shout out to my nigga DNA. It's been a very long time. Shout out to Nems, brother. You came a very long way. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else, I see you. If I didn't mention your name, know I loved you. I probably mentioned you through the interview. Everybody's phenomenal. Everybody's very, very talented. And keep up the great work, because you guys are making like a whole metaverse history that people have no idea what's coming later. You know what I'm saying? And
thanks.
The great world, you know?
Yeah, I appreciate you, Probably Hustle. Thank you for coming through for this one last time. Everybody just Also, thank you to everybody that's watching this, those that are with you with us still on the live, and everybody that's watching us up in the future. Make sure to follow End of the Week, because without End of the Week, we wouldn't be here doing this. It's their platform, and the best way to do that is to go to eodub.com so that you can get all of their socials and crap there, because it's a little different on each platform. And that's the best way to keep in touch with them. And they got a whole bunch of cool stuff going on that is happening as they're leveling up. I think they have a real life show that either just happened or is about to happen.
Yeah,
like they'd
just
be like,
finished happening.
right. So like they leveling up and making big moves.
EOW is like your birth stamp for like New York City underground, and even commercial to every. I've seen people from the underground get underground out there, and I've seen people go commercial from there. It's like,
yeah,
such a magical place. Such a magical place. It's funny that I'm on the Zoom because I didn't even know that. And God bless them. I'm here because of them as well.
So yeah, and I appreciate everybody involved, and shout out Danny, our executive producer behind the scenes, for holding us down always and making everything dope. And yeah, so I guess with all that being said, yo, I appreciate y'all one more time, and live long and prosper, everybody out there.
Littty, bro. Yeah.
All right, I'm offline.
Danny, I just finished texting her. I forgot.
I'm good. I'm here.
Oh, she's here.
We good.
Danny always fucking holding it down.
Yes, that was super fun.
Yeah, it was fucking poorly, man. You tell the wife, let's order some food.
Skydiving though?